We are live, and the dog knows it.
Are we? Well, let me get live too.
Okay. The dog knows we're live. We're going to get an intro. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, excuse me. Go ahead. Chris, what did you say?
I said that's why they do that.
Live and action. There. How about that? I was going to say, we're going to get an intro this week because I totally forgot about doing this. The pressures of life.
This is live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild one.
It's certainly going to be something.
It's going to be loud.
It is, but I thought that
we're going to have to get you a real microphone, mister. One that you can mute, because that's going to be a problem.
oh no, he's fine. It won't last long. Soon, who's ever walking their dog will be gone, and
Anyways,
oh yes,
I took a stab that this was number 53.
yes, number 53. Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill
That would
Kelly.
be
I am
us.
Hornswoggle with the Great. What's that?
That would be us.
That would be us. And I am one of your many council members, and tonight with me for laughs and chagrins, shenanigans, and chicanery, I have... Who wants to go first?
I'll go next.
There you
I
go.
am Rob Marsden, also known as Jingo the Fool. I'm the chief and only game master over at my Twitch channel, The Ship of Fools, right here where we're streaming. And I'm kind of just a local clown. I'm going to pass it to Rob, let him do his local clownishness.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. I'm Rob the Blacksmith, and I am the cigar smoker and I guess the resident hound master as I keep this wild and vicious beast at bay.
Master of the Hounds.
And I am Chris. Chris in mind. I am the resident geek nerd comic book guy. So, yeah, finally, all at once. It's been a while since I've been on.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. Well, there's no, like, you need to be on tonight, and, Ron's been busy, Guy's been busy. We get on when we can.
Right.
I try
But
not
now
to...
that we're on, now that we're changed it days, I can be on all the time
Hopefully, yes.
until you kick me off.
Well, I guess. In the beginning, Monday was a good solution because it was the time when everybody had the night off. And now, a year later, it's like you guys have all said, it's become problematic for how things are set up now. Okay, we're all in agreement with that. Rob,
Yep.
go ahead and give us the cigar for tonight. I'll get the days of the year, and then we'll talk about the new series that I'm all excited about.
This one is a Smoke Signals Curly Bill. So this one is only available in Tombstone, Arizona. And last
Many
time I was
times.
down there, this one has been actually aging in my...
Uh-oh. You muted yourself by accident.
Uh-oh.
There it goes. It's been aging in my humidor for about 3 years, which has given it even more of a nice, mellow tone.
Mm.
They have a Johnny Ringo, Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and then they have the Curly Bill.
I need to smoke all of them. Now, were those in the Big Nose Kate Saloon or the Oriental or...
No, there's actually a cigar. There's a cigar store. Only, ladies and gentlemen, Tombstone, Arizona is still one of the wildest towns in all of America. It is the only place where you can walk into a gun store that has a full humidor. Quite literally, you can buy wonderful firearms, recreations, original Colts, and all the like, as well as they have a beautiful selection of cigars. And they are the only purveyor in southern Arizona of the Hiram and Solomon, which is a Masonic brand. So it's a brand of cigars that's owned by a Masonic brother, and they sell them all around the world, but Smoke Signals is the only cigar store in southern Arizona that carries the Hiram and Solomon. So
half of my brain, the historian part of my brain went, that's really interesting. That's fantastic. The cartoon part of my brain went, do you have to do a special handshake and dance to get the cigar?
That's right. You have to have your formal card from the Ministry of Silly Walks before you can even look at those cigars.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm glad you came with me on that one.
Well, you know what's funny is Tombstone has one of the oldest Masonic lodges in the state of Arizona.
Really?
Still the original Masonic Lodge building, which is literally one block off of Main Street in Tombstone. And of course, everybody has their claim to fame in masonry. You know, we do outdoor degrees, we do this, we do that, we do the other thing. But how many people can claim that they had a Masonic degree at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona?
I got my degree where people got shot to death over an argument.
That's right.
Damn, okay.
And
was it over a woman or a stagecoach? Nope, they were just pissing each other off.
One of the brothers that is a senior officer in the lodge in Tombstone also plays Wyatt Earp down there.
Lucky bastard.
So when these guys go full on, they go full on.
Really?
Wow. So,
that's awesome. If you ever go to Arizona, there's so much to see in Arizona that you don't think about it if you're not an aficionado. Because my parents started coming out here in 76, 77, and my dad was really into cowboys and Indians and mining and stuff like that. So, and he hated rain, and there was one year in Philadelphia that it rained like 50 weeks in a row or something, and he loved barbecues. So he dragged all of us out here.
If you come to Arizona, you have to do the Gold Trail in southern Arizona. So it takes you through Bisbee, and it takes you through Tombstone. It takes you through all the old ghost towns, or all the old gold towns. But if you do it, you can spend a week going one day at each of these areas and seeing some amazing things. You can go to the Queen Mine down in Bisbee. Go all the way down underground.
Yeah, you can take the tour. And highly recommend
it. It's something to see. If you're into the paranormal, every one of these towns has a paranormal adventure. Yeah. Every one of them has at least one building that is on one of the ghostly registers. If you want to have a good time, you can go down to Tombstone and go through the haunted. They have a bunch of haunted buildings. They love to do ghost tours at night. Bisbee, of course, does it. Tucson has some wonderful ones. Phoenix has some great ones. If you want to go to the outlying areas, you want to go to the Gila County Jail.
Oh,
and
yes.
You can do an overnight at Gila County Jail. And it is an interesting time.
Jerome.
I got my voice hooked.
Yeah. Jerome is really, really active. You can hear the mill working in the middle of the night, and there's no one around. They're the Washoe, or one of the saloons that was a brothel that's still working today. They're up there, and now and then people from out of town will come up. It's so cool that you have that woman outside dressed all in red, like a saloon girl from the 1800s. We don't have any employees. Yeah,
nobody's
she's right
doing
out
that.
front. And they go out front, and there's nobody. Because Jerome is a tiny, tiny mountain
Very
town.
haunted town.
Super haunted, and it's small, and not a lot of people live there. It's not. It's more.
Maynard of Tool lives there.
Yes, he
I can
does.
read there.
If you have the opportunity, stay at the Jerome Grand Hotel.
Ooh,
It's a
yes.
beautiful hotel. When you go there,
Super haunted.
it looks like every hotel that you've ever seen in Eastern Europe or Germany, up in the mountains and everything. It's just beautiful. It's got beautiful views. It used to be the hospital for the mine. The fourth floor is considered to be the most haunted. And they have let me see there. When I stayed there, the restaurant was called the Asylum. And they had a drink called Liquid Valium.
Ooh. That sounds sleepy.
It's they really play into it. They have a good time. They show you all of the haunted bits and pieces of the hotel. They have a channel on their television that plays, these are the haunted things that you can expect and then take a walk through the middle of town, starting about 9 o'clock. Just walk down the main street, come back around. If you time it right, you get back to the Jerome Grand by about 11. You'll have yourself a few interesting experiences. I took my now ex-wife up there, and my right arm was numb and devoid of blood after about 300 yards.
From the squeezing, yeah.
Yes.
One of, Cookie, who's no longer with us, real name Mike Chapman. He was the pirates. He was our cook for this pirate group we made out in the 90s at the Renaissance Festival. It was a lot of fun. Man, as far as like hypnotherapy and all that kind of stuff and paranormal, I've met. You meet this small group of people that ghosts are so common to them, it's like normal people are in the room. Like they don't see the difference between dead people and alive people. It's just people in the room, and I stop paying attention to them because they freak me out.
Yes. Now, I am on the fence as to whether or not ghosts actually exist, but I will say I have seen some things that I do not have an explanation for. And ghost could be just as plausible as any. I've seen some things that no logical explanation could explain. I don't want to go into it, but I've seen some things, and therefore there's a reasonable doubt about what I believe. I don't believe in ghosts. Do I believe it's possible? Absolutely.
I don't believe it until I'm proven wrong. What Cookie described in Tombstone when he was a teenager is he was woken up in the middle of the night to the sound of yelling, a stagecoach, and gunfire. Like people were happy to be arriving in town, and when he got out of bed and looked out the windows about 2 in the morning and there was nothing. The streets were desolate and silent. But he heard it like it was right, like the distance from the room to the street, which is what, 50 feet, 100 feet? Because it's Tombstone is really little too. You think it's this huge, sprawling. No,
it's only like 3 streets.
Yeah, but Tombstone is the best. Get there early because there's and same with Jerome, exact same. Get there early because there's a lot of little museums to see. In both of them. There's the woodworking museum in Jerome. There's the mining. There's the whole thing has museums. Where in Tombstone, there's the Desert Rose, which is still alive. It was planted in 1887, and it's huge. The thing is just ginormous. Everybody's house is preserved, and they got a bunch of furniture and stuff from that time period. And you walk along the.
The original county courthouse has been restored, and all of the original saloon have all been restored. They even the Harley Davidson store is in an old general store storefront right on Main Street. So yeah, the Main Street is still a dirt road, and they've paved all of the other roads on either side of it.
What's interesting to me, the time that I went to Tombstone when I was about 8 or 9, because before 10, you don't really appreciate the historical significance of it. But when you get older, you're like, whoa. So they always talk about Boot Hill, and they make Boot Hill references in all of the old movies. But in the Tombstone movie of 93, you only briefly see it at one point. But they show it, and then it's like the town is right there. In real life, here's Tombstone, here's Boot Hill, over here. Because you don't want to bury the dead people right there in town. That's not sanitary, and this place floods a lot. And that was
I've lived in
interesting.
Arizona most of my life, and I've never been to Tombstone.
Oh, dude, we will take
If
you.
I have, I was young enough to not remember it.
It's
And I'm
nice
certain I
because it's about a 3.5 hour drive from Phoenix. So it is essentially a day trip. You can day trip down there. If you do it right, leave early in the morning, you stop along the way, have breakfast, and take your time. There's a lot of wonderful little small towns that you go through you would never know. But as you drive through, you go, okay, I can see this. This town was part of the stagecoach track that was originally run through here. This town is off of the railroad, and so I know how this worked. Okay, this is great. You have a lot of fun. You could spend 5 or 6 hours down there, get in the car, come back, have a little bit of supper as you get close to Tucson, and then finish your way back into Phoenix.
Being from back east and having tons of relatives from back east, my dad, and then later using what he had already done and then modifying it later when Christine's relatives would come out, we had this down pat because my father already blazed the trail. So, if they're just here for the day, let's do Phoenix. That's easy. Jump on the 17, all the way up to Montezuma's Castle, walk around, look at it, take pictures, read all the stuff, go through the museum. Cool. What? They built an 11-mile trench with stone axes and shovels and a stick? Awesome. Go all the way up to Montezuma's Well. You get out, you look down, and you're like, it's a well full of water, because that's only half the show. You got to go over to the right, down, and then back to where you came. So now you're like 20 feet below where you were standing before, and now there's all these ruins. You were literally standing on top of them, and the way they're made, because, was it the Sangwa, there were several proto-Indian tribes before, like, the 17 that we have today. So it's like after that you go up to Cottonwood, and inside Cottonwood is Tuzigoot. And Tuzigoot, you get out, you go through the museum, it's 2-story. So you can walk through it. One of the very few Indian ruins, Tuzigoot, Tonto, Batatakin, and like one other one. You can walk through these. You don't just look at them. So when you're in Tuzigoot and you look north, there's Sedona, and if you look northwest, there's Jerome. So you're done there, get back in the car, go up to Jerome. Jerome is just creepy. It just has that Poltergeist 1980, what was that, 2, 4?
It used to. Now it's kind of a trendoid place.
Yeah.
People go there to be seen there.
You used to go to Sedona to, like, cleanse. Now you go to Sedona to shop with relatives. Oh, look, the fudge and the candles. And
Yes, exactly. It's not what it used to be.
it used to be different in the 80s. But, I mean, it's always been a tourist trap, though. Then you get back on the 17 after Sedona and go all the way down. Because Sedona just feels good. It's beautiful. It's pretty. You know, you got the nice houses there. They got the Cathedral on the Rock. You got all that. It's very, very nice. Arizona, if you're just looking around Phoenix, everything is tan, and there's a few giant mountains in the middle of your city. But if you actually
That's
go,
what I like about
Yeah.
Arizona is every road I go, look down, there's a mountain at the end of it.
that's where
every
you
single
know
one.
where the hell you are. Where the hell are you? Oh, Camelback. Okay, we're good. I know where we are.
Oh, we're South Mountain.
Oh, we're South Mountain. Okay, we're too far south. We've got to go up to. We got to get over by the Bradshaws. We're out of the.
And
Where
the
you at
fact
now?
that
We're at the White
North
Tanks.
Mountain
Wait a minute.
/ Swa Peak / Camelback sits
Yes,
right in
yes,
the middle of the whole urban
Yeah.
area. You think, oh, that mountain over there is the edge of Phoenix. No, there's just as much Phoenix on the other side of that as there is over here.
You wouldn't believe how much Phoenix there is left. And then
Like
sunny,
that.
sunny Slope's the same thing because you got the Tapatio Cliffs and you got all that. It's like, and that was a tuberculosis ward back in the early.
Because that was way out of town.
Oh, sorry.
That
we're not supposed
was
to talk
north
about
of town.
Yep.
Because, like Rob said, when you got to Squaw Peak, that was the end of civilization.
Northern.
Beyond that, it was 2 tracks and farm fields until you got to the sanitarium, which is where they kept all of the tuberculosis folks.
I remember
in the
it
sunny
used to
slope
be the
area.
only way you could get to the north part of the valley was through the 7th Street Pass
Yeah.
or through the Dreamy Draw, the
Ooh,
Creamy
You had
Draw.
to take the Dreamy Draw up.
Every morning, going down the Dreamy Draw, dump it into 19th Street. Just you had to leave an hour and a half because it was
Yeah,
only 2
we used to
lanes.
have the saying,
2 lanes.
Phoenix is about an hour and a half from Phoenix.
Right. Everything is an hour and a half
Spot
away.
on.
Hold on.
Yeah, spot. That was spot on, Rob. Oh, we are way away from Mel Brooks, but that's okay. Days of the year. Apple Tree Day. Apples are awesome.
We had a plan.
We actually say I did, believe it or not. National Cuddle Up Day. Why don't we just give high fives? National Bean Day. All right, I love beans.
I had beans. Yes,
Green
we did.
beans. Beans.
Whistleberries.
Whistle. National Shortbread Day, and also National Smith Day.
Smith instead of Jones.
But yeah. One of those popular names, several, is the Smith. That's because everybody wanted to be known as a Smith because you had the secret magic then. Metal! So there are the days. I wanted to start, we could keep talking about ghost stuff. We actually get more views. And when we're doing that, well, then...
What's one place over in by Apache Junction? Gold
Gold Canyon?
Gold
Gold-
Canyon. Yeah, that's
Gold
kind
Canyon,
of,
but you have the Goldfield was the
Field, yeah.
Goldfield was the small. It's a ghost town.
They
It's
took,
left out
Yeah.
there's a gold mine in a ghost town.
they took over $80 million worth of gold out of that camp. Gold, and over 5,000 people died of silicosis from all the blasting.
And that is right on the old Apache Trail, which led through the Superstition Mountains, which is still the Superstition Mountains is still an area that is very, very difficult to navigate.
oh, it's
So
some of the canyons driving
Yeah.
out the 60 East. Yeah, you go down that canyon, they'll never find you.
Here's the
There's
okay,
no
hold on,
way.
hold on. For people who don't live in Arizona, the Superstition Mountains were originally Apache territory long ago, and they believed that the Thunderbird lived on top of the southern westernmost part of the mountain, and it is beautiful. It's a beautiful mountain. The problem is, if you don't talk to the Apaches and you're in the area and you decide, I'm going to climb up that mountain and take a look, they're going to kill you when you come back down because now, from their point of view, you angered the Thunderbird and we're going to have a really bad monsoon. Only they didn't have the word monsoon. They used a different... That's not... Anyway, so it was... Originally, Apache Junction was where the miners and the ranchers and the farmers and the cattle herders, they went there to trade with the Apaches. And the Apaches would raid all the other tribes because through what we've learned in anthropology, everywhere you go, every groups of people, there's always one super pro antagonist, and they just kind of beat up the rest of the people. So the Apache are kind of traditionally like attacking the Navajo, the Pima, the Hopi, the Nez Perce. So they were getting a lot of stuff, and then they would trade with the white man at Apache Junction. Now the problem with superstitions is, for one, there's a lot of magnetism up there, and compasses do not function properly. Two, it's like what both the Robs said. Once you get in there, everything starts to look the same. Everything. Three,
And there's a lot of sheer, straight up and down cliffs and mountains. So there are just directions you can't go.
yes,
Yep.
because
If you want to have a good time, get a 4-wheel drive and a knowledgeable guide. Take the original Apache Trail, past Canyon Lake, past Tortilla Flats, And as long as the road has not been too damaged by the monsoons, you can go up the infamous Fish Creek Hill and make your way towards Apache Lake.
It's beautiful.
And that is the back way into Apache Lake. To give you a better understanding, it's called the SCAR chain: Saguaro, Canyon, Apache, and Roosevelt. Saguaro is the lowest lake, and these are all man-made reservoirs that support the valley. All of the water that is required for the valley to become the agricultural center that it was for so long, and now to become the human population center that it is today. So Saguaro has one way into it that is not through Apache Junction. Canyon is the one that you take the original Apache Trail up. That's paved until you get to Tortilla Flats.
Yeah, and then it's
Then
not.
you have this beautiful road that takes you up to Apache Lake, and then you can take that road further up to Roosevelt Lake. And so it's a beautiful chain of these man-made lakes that were basically built from the, what was it?
Well,
Probably the late 1900s, late 19 teens, early 1920s on through.
Roosevelt
These original dams.
Roosevelt Dam starts that whole project with Roosevelt Lake and Apache Lake and Saguaro Lake. And what's interesting, side note, because we are on the topic of ruins, because I kind of pushed us there, because my father has been dragging me to, well, when he was alive, we would go to Indian ruins many times, and every time a relative would come out, we would drag them to an Indian ruin so they could see it and take pictures and show them often back east in Pennsylvania. When they created Roosevelt Dam and when they were creating the three lakes that Rob's talking about, they actually, and it's still underwater today, when you go up the 87 and you're on your way to Payson, there's Tonto Ruin. It's about halfway where Roosevelt Dam is. And the river that's there that becomes the rest of those lakes, there are actually Indian ruins under the water that are preserved for future generations of archaeologists. I mean,
There's also
you can't discover everything. What will the guys in the future do?
there was the town of Roosevelt,
Yes.
which is underwater. The town that was actually built as they were building the original dam and putting in the hydroelectric that went in there and everything else. The town of Roosevelt was built with the knowledge that as the reservoir filled, that town would go away. And that has become a very popular dive location for generations because it's an opportunity to dive on what was left. They left the buildings. They left everything there. There was no point in tearing it down.
It's an
I
opportunity for
believe
you.
Lake Isabella in California has a similar. When they
Yep.
created the dam that made Lake Isabella, California, it left a town underneath it. There's a town under the lake.
Come on, we're going to reenact Waterworld this weekend. Where are we going? Isabella! Roosevelt! Look, civilization! I can see it.
How many towns are like that across the country? See, I never knew about Roosevelt. I never knew about that or Lake Isabella.
Really?
I've heard of other towns in other parts of the country that they dammed them up and they've made a reservoir of some sort and covered a town.
I'm sure there are. You hear more about the opposite. And the one that I think of that comes to mind for me is Rob was talking about California, the Salton Sea. And the towns around the Salton Sea that just basically had to be abandoned and disintegrated because the Salton Sea became so toxic.
And if you don't have enough commerce and trade to keep construction teams going and to all that, I mean, it's going to end up being... Chris, you put us on the spot by talking about it on the... It's a great... I'll get on that because now I got to know.
I think there's similar structures.
So far.
I think up at Lake Mead, there's similar structures because usually when they were building, if they were building a large dam, they would end up putting in infrastructure to support the building teams in those days, but usually it was on the side that was going to become the reservoir. As soon as they filled up with water, it was just a known commodity.
Rob?
What about the Hoover Dam? Is there a town that was on the side of the Hoover Dam?
I believe there is a town underneath Lake Mead.
Yep.
And
Is there?
I like the fact that a lot of barrels with bodies have started showing up in Lake Mead as the water goes down.
As the water receded, yep.
Yes, from the 30s and 40s when Las Vegas was Bugsy Siegel's town.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep. They found a lot. As the water receded, they found a great many things out there. And they have been very careful about what they divulge about it, other than to say, there's been a sudden boom in recyclable 55-gallon barrels showing up.
Great. It's full of bones. Human bones. Oh, Jesus.
What do you got? Bits and pieces.
Well, I mean, we keep finding stuff. They were talking about, Canada had record heat waves, and they found what they think is a dragon. It's probably just two dinosaurs that fell on top of each other. And then I guess they've been finding all kinds of crazy stuff in Antarctica, so... But again, how much of this is real and how much of this is...
I've read At the Mountains of Madness. I fear Antarctica ever thawing out.
Me too, actually, yeah. Then there's a bigger thing! Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, I don't ever
Not
want
the
to
book.
see a Shoggoth.
No, thank you. I don't want to wake up a sleeping crazy god. That's okay. He can keep sleeping. That's all right.
No, our luck, though, is if one of the great elder gods showed up, plunked down at one of our Saturday games, the next thing you know, he'd be walking around going, these guys are crazy.
You're doing what? No, I've come to realize that our whole existence... Stay with me. These thoughts come to me in between moments of obsessions. So what if our whole reality is actually a projected reality from insects that have gained advanced sentient in another reality, and they're playing a role-playing game where they're trying to kill humans, but they're just the size of normal insects, like normal insects.
So we're living in the game of humans and houses.
Well, yes. Oh, that's the best name ever. I didn't have a name for it yet.
I've seen that shirt or the meme of the dragons playing humans in houses.
Humans in houses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. Then what happens? Well, you go to work. Oh.
What happens? You pay taxes.
What, Rob? You're muted. We see
Oh,
your
I was talking to my audience. I got a couple of people watching, and I was going to tell them, a friend of mine, Drake, said reality is we're all nerds, which is true. And I was saying that, maybe we can get some of these other nerds to show up once in a while and join the council.
Yep.
all are
We are-
welcome onto the council.
We are geeks. We define geeks versus nerds. Geeks want to know everything that they can learn about anything and everything that's out there. And the hardcore nerds are the ones that want to be the absolute authority on that single thing that they are most interested in. They could care less about anything else. So that's the only delineator we make. So if you are a geek and you want to learn, somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I know everything there is to know about Franistans. You go, shit, tell me more. I don't know much about it. Tell me, I want to learn. Then that's what we're after. We want those geeks that sit down and say, I want to learn about thimbles. I don't know about thimbles. I know a lot about spoons, but I don't know thimbles.
My secret passion is Morris dancing. Okay, I'll teach you what I remember. It's not that exciting. I was explaining it today to a woman at work, and she's like, what's that? And luckily she's in her mid-40s, so she remembers Safety Dance by Men Without Hats. Other than that, it's like, I'm like, basically it's the equivalent of an Englishman coming up to you randomly and going, oh yeah, I'm a professional square dancer back in Suffolk. Or, it's like, what? So, yeah, I had to explain the entire thing and where it comes from and everything.
Oh, as we all know, square dancing came from Scotland anyways.
Dude, you can only spoon feed the non-geeks so much info before their minds explode or shut down and they walk away. You have to spoon feed them. If they're geeks, they're like, really? Oh my god! And then you can tell them, because I'm like, red dwarf, and she's like, I have no idea what that is. Okay, you're not a geek.
So I can blame the Scots for having to put up with square dancing in middle school and elementary school.
I know. I get grief from some of my semi-geek co-workers because I'm not into all the geek things that they're into. I'm known among my coworkers as pretty nerdy, but when they start talking Game of Thrones, I check out. Like, you don't watch Game of Thrones?
I do not. The delineage from geek to nerd, for me, comes in 2 channels. Social skills and the ability to handle new concepts. Now, that's not to say that you can make fun of something, but then learn all about it. It's the people that are like, well, this is just beneath me. I consider that nerd kind of, it's almost an autism kind of. Nerds are fine. They just get too hyper-focused. What's that?
Citable.
The difference is, okay, geeks are Batman fans, nerds are Superman fans. When you talk to a Batman fan, you can talk about any other superhero, whether Batman is involved or not. When you talk to a Superman fan, all they want to talk about Superman. If you talk up another hero, they're going to talk about how much Superman can beat the crap out of them. Superman wouldn't beat up that guy. He's the only hero he's ever had a problem with. Yeah, he's the only other hero he's had a problem with is Shazam. And, well, he was really sorry.
Have you seen the most recent Superman movie?
No, I have not. And I heard it was really, everybody was saying
it's really good. It looks like him and Green Lantern don't necessarily get along. But it's not Hal Jordan Green Lantern. It's Guy Gardner Green Lantern, and Guy Gardner's an ass.
Michael or Stewart, John Stewart, the John Stewart Green Lantern, who's in the animated series mostly.
This was the Guy Gardner one, completely.
Guy Gardner's an asshole. The only bull I'll ever need.
And Nathan Fillion plays him perfectly.
Yes. Finally, he's playing a bad guy again. He hasn't done that since Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I wouldn't call Green Lantern a bad guy, but he definitely does his own thing.
I would call him an anti-hero. You're right.
Okay, he is definitely not well liked. There's a scene near the end that is very much Guy Gardner, but I won't spoil it for you.
In the comic books, Batman goes out of his way to torture Guy Gardner. If Batman... You gotta be a real asshole if Batman... Think about that for a minute. I mean, the grand scope. Batman generally cares about people that are fucking worthless. He actually cares about most of his rogues gallery. Harley and Poison Ivy. He feels bad for, but...
That's why he beats them up and drags them back to Arkham.
Yeah.
When you said that about Batman, how bad of a person you have to be to make Batman want to do that to you, the image popped into my head and now I'm going to show my age. Here's the geek check. The episode of Happy Days when Al wants to beat the guy up and Fonzie has to step in and go, do you know how bad a person you have to be for Al to want to punch you in the mouth?
Yeah. Al loves...
Yeah.
Which Al? Are we talking the Italian Al or Asian Al?
No,
both.
The Asian Al wasn't Asian. The Asian Al was Arnold.
Arnold.
That was
Arnold. Not Marita.
That was Arnold. So we're talking
Yes, that was
Al.
Pat Morita. That was Mr.
Yep.
Miyake himself.
Crap. What's Al? The actor who played Al was at. Oh, whoops! I'm knocking everything over. We're getting all excited. Who wanted to be? I have Mel Brooks all keyed up because we were going to talk about Mel. He wanted to be a dramatic actor, and he kept sending all these portfolios with all these serious looks, and they didn't really kind of go with it. And then all of a sudden he went 180 degrees and did all these smiling and laughing pictures, and immediately he was cast in Happy Days. So it just goes to show.
He was a great character actor. He was never a lead anywhere.
Yeah.
But he was always a great character actor.
Al Del Vecchio, which is a very common Italian name. I forget what it means. I looked it up once. But Al Molinaro is the guy who played Al. And he was born 1919
He had a recurring role on Odd Couple too, as well. Was he Murray the cop?
He was Murray the cop.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was in the Buddy Holly video, Step by Step, Family Man, Punky Brewster, Happy Days, Joni Loves Chachi, The New Odd Couple, Fantasy Island, Gridlock, Ugly Family, Christmas.
Everybody was on Fantasy Island. It's like the Love Boat. If you were a star in the 70s, you did the Love Boat. Sometimes people did it more than once.
Love Boat, 1977.
Yep.
Points for Rob.
The Love Boat.
Soon
Barry Manilow at his finest.
What was the other one? Was Battle of the Network Stars. Everybody was always on the Battle of the Network Stars.
That used to be a good show.
What was the other one? They had the Believe It or Not program.
Oh, they had Believe It or Not, and they had not What's Happening, but what was the name of it? Because there was they had the That's Incredible show.
That's incredible. That was the other one.
Was one of them.
You're
and
right.
Then the
There
other
was one that began with a W.
There was one on Wednesday night, and God, I can't remember. It was the one that came first, and then That's Incredible.
Was it?
No, it wasn't Ripley's, but it was the show that pretty much predated Unsolved Mysteries and the one with...
In Search of.
No, that was on there too. That was a very good show. That was Spock. And then Jonathan Frakes did one later, Will Riker. Frakes.
And now you know, ladies and gentlemen, why those of us of this generation were very big on
was it called
all
Real
of these
People?
things. Real People. That was the other one.
Yeah, that was on too.
And they would go out and introduce you to people around the country.
And I forget the girl's name, but yeah, they would. You know, it was kind of a precursor to the America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, it was. It was like that mixed with Candid Camera.
Martian Cat says Byron Scott was on that show. I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Boy.
I have a feeling she's 100% correct.
And this is why our generation is known as the feral generation. We learned about an awful lot of things, and we became interested in an awful lot of things with a lot of very questionable scientific ideas behind them.
And the side plot to that is that part of they watched JFK get shot live on TV, like Dennis Leary said. We didn't want to turn it off or change the channel. Anything could happen. Morbid as it is, that's very true.
Yeah, I've witnessed some bad things on TV. I remember being in Germany and getting up in the middle of the night to watch the Challenger space shuttle launch.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I was in high school when that happened.
That was running live in high school.
It was in 8th grade.
Yep.
Yeah.
What year was that?
85 or 86.
86, beginning of 86, spring of 86.
The oldest thing I remember ever watching on television was the moon landing. I remember being in my grandmother's living room watching the moon landing live on her old black and white TV.
I remember seeing video. Well, I remember seeing video from Vietnam too on the nightly news because my old man was stationed over there in the midst of all the police actions, all the difficulties, and seeing that and the channel being changed because, yep, Mother didn't want to watch some of the stuff going on.
Vietnam's the first almost live war that we had, long before cell phones, long before, digital cameras or camcorders.
It was definitely the most heavily documented.
Yes.
Yeah.
Compared to anything that had come before.
I would agree, because the Civil War and the comedian that imitates Donald Trump makes a joke about it, and it's really hilarious, and I've reposted it because he talks about he's a geek like us. He's a documentary nut. Oh, dude, you and I could sit and talk for days. I've watched documentaries on printers. I've watched documentaries on stuff that nobody should be watching.
I mostly watch documentaries on bands and musicians.
Those are the fun ones, but I'll watch boring ones too. And he talks about one of his absolute favorite, and I have to agree, it's in my top 3. One of his absolute favorite documentary series is Ken Burns' Civil War. And Ken Burns makes amazing he knows how to do the documentary game perfectly. And he said one of his jokes is it's the Civil War, there's no footage, but they just read the letters and slowly zoom into the pictures. He said there's one professor, Shelby Foote, and I remember that because I've watched that. The series is like, 20 hours? I think I've watched it 5 times because I'll just have it on as background music when I do have
It's like us with the extended Lord of the Rings.
Same thing.
Or Futurama at all times in the house.
And the music is just absolutely just tear-jerking and soulful because it's all violin and banjo, and Del McCrory does a version of Lorena. And on a side note, I know I was going on the whole documentary thing and how he talks about this professor. Really, you could tell he really wanted the South to win. Now, most of these dudes are like in their office or they're like sitting up. This guy's like in his house, and he says he's just in there freestyling it in the living room, making up stories about guys in the South. But on a side note, the song Lorena was interesting because they went and they asked because we're talking about news coverage with the wars, and for the American Civil War, we had reporters out there. We had basic rudimentary. We didn't really have film movies, but we had, sanguine, tin and lead and glass photograph scenarios.
Daguerreotypes.
Thank you. That's the word that escaped my skull. Because those are the primitive. Once Maxwell and Faraday kind of figure out the whole optics thing and they get that going, they really change photography. And then, like you said, the kerosene. And, you have, people went. In Gettysburg, people went to go picnic as the war was going on. They had to, move and run away. What the hell are you doing? It's a war. Get the hell away from there.
Yeah, and it said that Gettysburg was the turning point for the popular opinion about war and the Civil War, because so many people had only ever known war through an article where something was written, and it was written up to be a great tale, and people had heard these tales from other events, things that had happened in Europe, but they'd never seen it here in the United States. And so, as you said, people found out. They published the fact that we're going to have a battle at Gettysburg. And okay, both sides are going to be there. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Come on out. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you only need the egg.
Yeah,
people showed up to have picnics and were horrified by what they saw because they had no knowledge, no concept of what this was. And that was the point, the turning point where people's concept of the valor and the flowery ideas war and the rest of it was absolutely destroyed in the popular mind, the popular culture of America. Because now, to both your points, Bill and Rob, you go the daguerreotypes, the tintypes that came out that were available shortly after that, people now saw,
horrific.
oh my God, arms torn off, people's bodies shredded and destroyed, and all of them had no concept of that prior to it.
Trenches of America's young boys and men lying, ripped apart by musket balls, by mortar, gun, cannonball fire, by, a bayonet, and,
some of the first pictures of the hospitals. And the worst pictures were the pictures of the amputated limbs. Piles of amputated limbs outside of the hospital. And I'll tell you, these photographers, they knew, I'm gonna show you something that's gonna make your stomach turn from now until the last breath you take. Here's a picture. Well, what's that? It's not wood.
It's dinner time, folks.
Body parts.
It's 6 o'clock. Dig in. We're going to talk about gangrene and dogs raiding piles of random amputated limbs, because that actually did happen. Oh, my God.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God, bring his leg back. Never mind. Take it.
Knowing on the history buff, people have asked me, if you could go back to visit another time, would you? Oh, hell no. First off, the pathogens would probably kill me right out.
Yeah.
Because, I'm got an immune system for the 21st century. I don't have an immune system for the 13th century.
Or the 11th century.
That's right. You're not getting me there without an NBC suit, and I can't fit into one of those anymore.
No, I love my running hot water.
I love my penicillin and my liquid soap. I'm okay. I like deodorant. Deodorant is king.
So if you can put me on Zoom with the 13th century, I don't have a problem with that. Put me on Zoom with the 13th century. I'll watch that. That's cool. I'll watch that all day long.
It's like the SCA. It isn't like being in the 13th century. It's like pretending to be in the 13th century.
It's in the with sunglasses and plastic armor.
With sunglasses, yes, and paper plates.
It's zooming in.
But Lorena, the song Lorena, is an absolutely beautiful song. Del McCurry does an amazing job, and it's a focal point of the documentary. And it's the reason it's so important is because when reporters and historians went out while the war was going on and talked to troops in the field, this is independently, the North and the South, the number one song was Lorena on both sides.
Interesting.
That's a fact that is real and concrete that people don't even care.
Well, and here's a great one, and I'm going to throw the Masonic thing back in.
Okay, Don Caton, go.
What is one of the most famous sculptures at Gettysburg with regard to the Civil War, and it plays into one of the most or one of the better known stories.
Can I call a friend?
You can call a friend.
Tell us, please.
The sculpture is two combatants, one from the north, one from the south, and I believe it's a Northern soldier is helping a wounded Southern soldier, Confederate soldier. And it's either called Friend to Friend or Fellowship. And what it is it's quite literally, it is a Masonic statue. The tale is that two Masonic brothers, so these are two men that knew each other to be Masons, met on the battlefield. And because they were Masons, the Northern soldier came to the aid of the Southern soldier. And there were tales of events occurring at Gettysburg where a high-ranking officer, I believe it was a high-ranking Southern officer, was mortally wounded. But because his counterpart on the north, they knew each other to be Masons by giving the grand hailing sign.
Do
So
it
it's a sign
dance
that
again?
identified it. Yeah, it's a sign to identify that a Mason is in trouble, and any other Mason that sees it is obligated to assist. In this instance, the northern ranking officer took the southern ranking officer and made sure that he was given all of the assistance that was possible medically to help him out. And that same tale had been told at probably about every large battle that ever took place in the Civil War. How many of them are genuine? How many of them are tales that have come about over the years? But there are some documented instances where that particular circumstance came into play. But that's just the same as most folks don't think about it.
Mm.
Many families, particularly those that lived near the Mason-Dixon line, if they had two sons, one son was sent to the north and one son was sent to the south, because the hope was at least one child would live or would be on the winning side and could therefore provide help. And there were many times where brothers or cousins or friends saw each other across the battlefield and had to deal with that difficulty. So when people think about war, you usually think about two different nations. People don't know each other.
Yeah.
We hear about World War I and the Great Christmas Truce. That was people who never knew each other other than the fact they saw each other across no man's land on a very special day. This war, the Civil War, this was your neighbor, your brother, your cousin, your father.
And by far the bloodiest one in the cost of American lives.
That's right. Almost every casualty in the Civil War was a U.S. casualty. There were some groups, like the San Patricios. Those were Irish nationals, Irish natives who came here, and they actually were fighting on the southern side, and I believe they also were part of the groups that ran to Mexico after the war when the South lost, because that was where they could go for some kind of safety after having been a part of the Confederacy.
But the way the war is presented to the American public, it starts out, like you said, as this gung-ho, noble, yay! And then after the photographs start rolling into all of the printed papers, so it's interesting to, not to get too into history, because I wanted to do a parallel what's our next thing? If you guys don't know, I will gladly say it. The Civil War, and then
after the Civil War was the Spanish-American War.
bingo. But that is one of those. They sabotaged us. Oh, wait a minute. It was all an accident. Wait, come back. Oh, never mind. They're invading the country.
Yeah. Oops, we did that.
Sorry, Cuba. Oops.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we had a lot of interesting incursions into South America during that time.
Yeah.
Not all of them were, big air quotes, not all of them were wars.
No.
But they were incursions in those areas. Not long after that, we got ourselves into trouble in China. So we happened to be there in the early 1900s and got our hats handed to us in certain ways in China. We weren't prepared for that kind of. We didn't know what to expect.
Well,
we were working on it.
But then you have Korea that happens, and America is rallied for that. So then, like World War II, because World War II, well, no, World War II happens first, excuse me. Ooh, Mr. History. Because
you had
World War II...
The Sand Pebbles is a great example of what happened in China, the Boxer Rebellion. So the Sand Pebbles was a good film for that. And then you had all of these horrible conditions that occurred. You had all of these terrible situations where the United States was, for all intents and purposes, trying to become a world power. Trying to be something on the world stage, and we kept inserting ourselves into places where you can argue we should or should not have been. It happened. It's history. It exists, and it's something that we need to review and be aware of. Because what's the old platitude? Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we seem to repeat this far too often.
Not only that, it's not Kennedy's quote, but it's a famous quote. Kennedy once said, "Victory has 1,000 fathers, but failure is an orphan." And that's a very, very old quote, and it's true. And the interesting thing that makes America work is because we've mastered the gung-ho superorganism without being forced. There's things that happen all through the decades. I'm not trying to paint this Candyland picture, but most of it kind of snaps back like a rubber band.
Yeah, and America is one of the few nations in the world that started out as
Territories?
being a conglomeration of everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else came here.
Yeah.
So you had everybody coming from all these other groups.
Yeah.
And you had people, and during that time, during that first 100 years, you had this group was unpopular, and then they became popular, and that group was unpopular, then they became popular, then that group was unpopular. And so we just kept bringing them all in. So now you're making the statement that, hey, we're America. You know what America is? America is the best of everybody else. The best of everybody else came here, and we made ourselves this. And that became kind of a misconception in some minds that because we're now here and we did it better or different, or we were the first to try this, that, or the other. We're the first ones to step on our own foot and figure out that it hurt. Now we're better than everybody else. So it's that normal human potential to believe yourself to be more than you are, taken to a national extent. And we're not the only nation that's done it. Every nation in the world history has done that.
There's a term for what you're touching on.
Please.
It's called social Darwinism. And what social Darwinism is, I'm going to come to your country and tell you that unless you adopt my superior culture and my superior religion and my superior ways, that you're inferior and that we're helping you to evolve socially.
I think Carlin
it's also called colonialism. Yeah. And while you can argue for or against colonialism, I don't want to go down that path. Not really. No, don't want to get into a heavy, political discussion on political philosophy.
No. I think Carlin put it best when he boiled it down. He said, "Do you believe in God? No. Do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in my God? No." And that was the whole idea. It's like, do you believe in what I believe in? Sure, I believe in whatever you. If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe in anything you don't say.
Bill Maher, when he first hit television, used to have this show called Politically Incorrect.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, he had George Carlin on there one day, and I forget which one he had, but he had an evangelist on the same day as George Carlin.
Oh, man.
And George Carlin told him straight up, "I believe religion is a form of mental illness." Now, I don't know that I don't want to get into religious discussions either, but he certainly had his position on it.
I can sum it up in one sentence. I use it a lot because I am the Lord of Trolls. I am the Lord of the Bridge Trolls on Facebook. Politics and religion have two very simple functions. They keep the very crazy and the very stupid very busy. Gives them something to do, so they leave the rest of us alone, and we can all get back to work.
I agree.
I don't have all the answers. That's just what I've observed.
I don't have any answers, and I won't. Don't look to me. I'm not in charge.
Then again, I am the same crazy person that believes that our entire reality is a simulation so that the aliens who are really at war with the real humans that are out there in the real universe, they're testing different weaponized weapons against us, like cancer and, the most important one, stupid.
See, I think we're more akin to an alien ant farm.
It's the same thing.
The aliens
That's
came
what I
along
believe.
and said, let's see if we could reproduce ourselves. And
We're a
we'll see
Sims
this.
game.
We'll see this dinosaur planet. First, we'll take this big chunk of ice and stone and hit the planet with it to start a clean slate. And then we'll put our little alien ants down and watch them go.
Hold on. Insects, got some reptile, here's some... No, not the mammals
native
yet.
life.
got
We just
reptiles.
added human DNA to it. Just to see what would happen. See, I'm also a firm believer that dolphins are a sentient species, as are octopi.
So long... Oh, yeah, octopi, yes. So long and
You
thanks
know-
for all the fish. Yeah, I
You know
kinda
what?
believe
You know,
that.
this
Yeah.
is an odd piece of trivia, but do you know what one behavior dolphins and humans share?
Well, two, actually, but go ahead.
Well, one of them is they have sex for pleasure.
Lucky bastards.
Humans do, dolphins do. Everybody else is
But
a
no-
biological directive.
Bonobos are the only ones that come close. The other thing is dolphins hunt just for fun, like cats and orca. They
Orca hunt for fun too, yeah.
Yeah. Here,
I like that they sink millionaire yachts.
we can get into that later. So I go
Dolphins
to
are also
SeaWorld.
known to point and laugh.
Yeah, they are. We go to
They will point and
SeaWorld,
laugh.
and we're sticking to the dolphins, and I'm like, something's always bothered me. These are mammals, and these aren't like seals or walruses or sea lions or otters or other kind of water weasels. These are literally, they look like fish. Porpoises, dolphins, orca. How do they sleep?
I don't think they do.
Well, the dolphin scientist
sure
that was there was
that's
like, that's such a good question. No one's ever asked that before. Are you fucking serious? I can't be that guy. I'm not that smart. But apparently no one ever asked how they sleep before. So this is what she said, and this blew my fucking mind. And no, this was in Vegas, and we went to, I think it was the Mirage.
Yeah, the one that had the dolphin habitat. We've been there.
Okay, so I asked them.
Amazing.
They were like, we're certified to take care of the dolphin. Oh, nice, because this other lady was getting into an argument. Why are you arguing with a woman at fucking the Mirage? So I said, yeah, I've always wondered, and my kids are going crazy and everything. We were there for Beth's wedding. So how do they sleep? That's very good. No one has ever asked that before. This scares me. Dolphins gather in a group, and all of a sudden, they remain still in the current, and they put their half of their mind sleeps for like 5 minutes, and then the other half of the mind sleeps for 5 minutes, and then they're good for a couple hours, and then they come and then they find another area that's calm with no predators, and then they.
That is weird.
That is very weird.
That wakes me up in the middle. What are they doing? Oh my god. Okay. Well, I've
If they had
always.
opposable thumbs, they would be the ones running the internet. We'd be the ones that they were making. There wouldn't be cat videos around anymore. It'd be human videos.
For my reality, from SeaQuest on and Johnny Quest and all that other stuff, there are too many stories of a hybrid super smart dolphin in a tank somewhere with an apparatus strapped to its skull for me not to ever believe that isn't going on somewhere.
Have you ever
They even
looked
did it
at
in the Tick.
Have you ever looked at the diagrams? Because, Star Trek has a pretty deep fandom. And among other things, you can get deck schematics for all of the Enterprises. All of them. Did you know that the Enterprise from Next Generation had 2 whole decks labeled Cetacean Ops? They had whales aboard their ship.
Too good.
They had whales. and they communicated with them, and I don't know what Cetacean Ops did, but it was there.
It was
It's
there.
part of the deck plans. They had either whales or dolphins or orcas or something on board the ship as in some sort of advisory or crew capacity.
That would be why on the the series Enterprise, when the first Enterprise crew, the Special Operations Group was called MACOs.
Doesn't surprise me.
Their
That was
spec
the
ops
cage?
teams were called MACOs. So that was always an interesting idea. But it's because in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and I'm sure they probably are still doing it to some extent, but Dev Group was working with orcas and dolphins as Special Operations Group assistance units. So similar to what they were doing with dogs, but they figured, well, why not send a Navy SEAL with a dolphin?
Lava Being from my chat says that Star Trek Lower Decks deals with that they have 2 beluga whale crew members actually on that ship. I haven't watched Lower Decks, but I want to.
I haven't either. Yeah, it's a cartoon. I know that.
It is. I love cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
I love cartoons too.
Cartoons are awesome.
They did a crossover into the new Star Trek with Lower Decks, where
JJ Trek? No thanks.
2 of the characters ended up coming into they went back in time, and they ended up with the original, with Pike's crew on the Enterprise. So it's kind of interesting.
That's Discovery, right?
Jar Jar A scams. I don't.
No, Lower Decks, I don't
any
know
of
the
those.
name of the ship. Discovery is its own thing. It's
The Jar Jar Abe scams movies are not canon. They do not exist. They do not. I'm sorry.
No, this is to the TV show.
Okay.
There's the new TV show that
They did time travel too.
Christopher Pike is in charge of the Enterprise as Kirk is coming along. So this is before Kirk gets to take over.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting
Pike-
process.
They don't do Pike dirty like they do a lot of the other stuff in other shows, where Pike is in the pilot, but from the pilot, the only character that survives is Spock. Every other person is recast.
all of them.
All of them. And I think the problem with the pilot, as far as the relationship with, I can't remember that doctor's name, and Pike, is it's too cozy, too quick. You don't establish their history before they're like being all chummy, and it gives the audience kind of that fifth wheel, outside of the circle
Part
kind
of
of
what
feeling.
made Star Trek pop was the minor tensions between the crew.
Yes, and I know I keep going back to the critical drinkers assessment of why the new Star Trek doesn't work as opposed to the old Star Trek is exactly what you said, because there isn't the dynamic of Bones and Spock and Kirk, because Kirk would have to make a decision. He would ask Spock, he would ask Bones, most of the time in front of each other so they could argue it out, but Spock would be the cold, logical, here is what we should do. No, not thinking, and
Bones would be the
the
humanity.
human, oh, don't you understand, you pointy eared Vulcan, and he would do the, but that made it more, and then Kirk would listen to both and make his decision based on his old, in a very kind of, that's how George Washington did stuff. He knew he wasn't the smartest man in the room, so he asked everybody in his council, listened to everything they had to say, weighed and measured it, and then went with the best possible outcome. And okay, let's not look back, let's move forward. And that's what makes a good leader, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you could bitch about it later, but go ahead.
Yeah, as long as you know you're not the smartest person in the room, but you have smart people in the room, you're sitting with them and saying, all right, Tell me yours, tell me yours, tell me yours, tell me yours. All right. We're going to take the best from each of these as far as I can understand them, because I have to sign my name on the paper after it's all said and done.
I'm the one paying the bill for this bullshit. Yeah.
That's right. I'm writing the check. My ass has to cash it. So guess what?
All four of us are dads. What do I have to pay for now? What do I have to pay for now? What do I have to pay for now?
That's right. It's the whole
funnel
Peter
in the
Griffin.
bottom of my wallet. Yeah.
That's right. It's that Peter Griffin. All right, enough with the foreplay, sailor. What are you selling?
Yeah.
So, Mel Brooks.
I wanted to do a new series called Badasses Who Don't Use Guns. And then we talked about it. What we should do, fake people or real people. It's like, dude, there's so many real people that are badasses
Now, we're
all
going to
through.
stick to real people.
And then we'll make another one, fake badasses who don't use guns. Batman's a fake badass who doesn't use guns.
Yep.
So is Wolverine.
Spider-Man.
Wolverine, Spider-Man, Professor X.
Now, but real life, you've got some good ones out there.
There's many. We could do this series for all times, but I figured Mel Brooks is 99 years old. He's a national fucking treasure like Betty White was, and we need to celebrate him for as many years as we have him left.
Yes,
Because
him and Dick Van Dyke,
yes,
Yep.
who's like one of my all-time favorite
Start
comedians.
researching, you can do the next one. Yeah, I'm all for
Yes,
Dick
I'll
Van
do it
Dyke.
I'll do it all on Dick Van Dyke.
He played a Cockney and learned an English accent, and he went all the way to
No,
Australia.
he did
to
not
learn
learn an
it.
English accent.
That's
Ask anybody from England. That's not an English
not-
accent.
no,
It's not even an Aussie accent.
That's a
It's-
really old Eddie Izzard joke where he's like, he played an Englishman in Mary Poppins. He did an English accent. He went all the way to Australia to learn it.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yes, Dick Van Dyke is, well, he's great. Mary Poppins is a wonderful movie, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and, well, let's focus on Mel and his accomplishments, and because Mel's actually the youngest of a bunch of brothers, and his father dies of kidney tuberculosis when he's like 2. So he kind of grows up mad at the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and made it all laugh. I mean, let's start with his first movie, The Producers. Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder.
Dude, it's that you couldn't get a better cast than the first.
Have you seen
Producers.
in the mid 2000s they did a musical remake? Have you
they
seen
did
that one?
Uma, and they did.
Yes, it was amazing.
I want to watch it, but I also
It's the
don't
only
wanna
film
watch it.
with Will Ferrell in it that I can watch.
Oh, I love Elf.
No, I am not a Will Ferrell fan.
I love
sorry.
Elf. Elf is so good.
Never
though.
seen it.
Oh,
Elf is actually really good. I'm not a Will Ferrell fan either, but I like Elf. And then he was also in Jay and Silent Bob Strike. He
Was he
played.
really?
He played. I think he played the either the he was a federal agent.
oh.
He was trying to become a FBI agent, but he was like a wildlife
It's like a ranger.
person. Wildlife
Like a park
ranger.
ranger.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wish I had
He was
that
going
job.
after the ape, going after the orangutan that Jay and Silent Bob stole.
Oh, that's okay. I don't remember what you're talking about now. I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen that movie. What? Oh, that's right. He was the agent.
He was.
You would
I
like.
think I got asked by the monkey.
Yeah. I honestly, Rob, normally I wouldn't push a movie actor on you if you don't like that actor, because then you're just torturing that person for an hour and a half. But I think you would like Elf because, yes, Will Ferrell was the main character, but Bob Newhart narrates the whole thing, and he's in the first whole half of the movie, and then he's in the last half of the movie.
I'll see it eventually.
Eventually.
It's his whole style of comedy, the idiot man-child thing that I can't watch Adam Sandler do it for very long either.
I give you
It's
that.
just not my style not my style of humor.
It kind of works with Elf because it's really Stranger in a Strange Land, Jungle Book. I mean, he was raised by elves, and now he's in,
Elf was his first movie, so all of that was fresh. All the movies he did after that were rehashes of the jokes from Elf.
I hate it when you're right.
All right. And Elf,
Adam Sandler did the same thing.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider attempted to do the same thing, but his movies suck.
and Elf was the second movie directed by Jon Favreau.
Yeah, that is true.
I didn't know Jon Favreau. Now I might watch it just on the strength that Jon Favreau directed it.
Can I also add Mary Steenburgen and James Caan?
Oh, Bob Newhart.
Yes, Bob Newhart. We love
Bob
him.
Newhart.
I love Bob
Now,
Newhart. My favorite Bob Newhart moment was at the end of the TV show Newhart, the one where he was a hotel manager. Where in the very end of the last episode, he wakes up in Bob Hartley's bed with Suzanne Plachette, and he's the dentist, and he had this dream about the whole other TV show was just a dream.
Just a fever dream.
And that was the most genius ending of a TV show
Bob
ever.
Newhart's awesome. He's great. But
Nobody could deadpan like Bob Newhart.
He's Papa Elf, and he's deadpan from the beginning. He reads the story. He explains because Buddy is brought back to the North Pole by accident, and then he comes out and Ed Asner is Santa Claus.
Oh my God. Ed Asner is one of those actors you just gotta love. No matter what he does, you just gotta love him.
He's in the beginning, he's in the middle for a little bit, and then he's in the end. So it makes him more endearing, kind of. But he accidentally brings Buddy from the orphanage, and they're like, oh, no, what are we going to do? Well, I can't go back. There's not enough Christmas miracle magic to go back. We're stuck with him. And then Santa asks all of the elves, because there's thousands of them, anybody know how to raise a human baby? And then Bob Newhart explains that there was one elf that always secretly wanted to have a family, but he was so busy working as an elf that he never had time. And it's Bob Newhart. Santa? So Bob Newhart raises Will Ferrell. And they're not accustomed to a human. Everything is too small for him. Everything. He destroys everything because he's just trying to exist. What, by the time he's 7, Bob Newhart's just like hanging on his back as he's pedaling a big wheel through the... Buddy, slow down, buddy. So it is a Jon Favreau film. There's a lot of Christmas movies that absolutely suck, and then there's a list that you watch them because they're really good, and then there's a list that you watch them because they're Christmas movie. Like Santa Claus Conquers the Men from Mars, and,
Back to Mel Brooks.
So, Badass is
What's your favorite Mel Brooks movie? What's your favorite Mel Brooks cameo role?
History of the World Part 1.
Ditto. I'll download that.
Where he's King Louis? Sir, you look like the piss boy.
Piss boy?
And you look like a bucket of shit.
Oh no, it's the end. Roman Red. Why is he picking weeds? History of the World Part 1, I think, okay. The Producers is fantastic. It's amazing. It's a showcase of Gene Wilder's ability to go from one extreme to another, because The Producers is just basically Zero Mostel's character torturing the shit out of Gene Wilder for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. otherwise than that, it's some of the greatest music that's ever made, that they even made it all the way to Dr. Demento, where you would hear Springtime for Hitler randomly because people would request him to play it.
In the musical remake of The Producers, Will Ferrell plays the German guy that writes that song.
That guy really got into that role, unfortunately. Blazing Saddles is amazing, but it's a great, like... The beauty of all of Mel Brooks' films is they exist perfectly all on their own, and it's basically him like, I haven't destroyed this genre yet, let's try that. And then when Gene Wilder comes up with the idea of Young Frankenstein when they're filming Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks is like, oh my God, Gene, this is amazing. Because that's one of the things that Mel laments to this day is he can't just pick up the phone and call Gene Wilder and they could just talk about weird movie kind of, what about a guy who's, and that's where it comes from is directors, writers, and actors bounce ideas off of one another once they have a connection, and you get all these new stories.
Hearing Mel Brooks talk about Blazing Saddles, and he's like, when he wanted to make that movie, he's like, there's no way Hollywood's going to let me make this movie. So he went to Richard Pryor and he said, Richard, I need a black guy to help me write this movie and have his name on the credits. Otherwise, they're never going to let me make this
because
movie.
They're just going to look at it.
And so they got the go ahead and they moved forward. And the movie studio said, Richard Pryor? He's that filthy mouth comedian that does cocaine and he got arrested. And no, he's not going to be in your movie.
We got this other guy.
Let's find this other guy. And then Cleavon Little came in and just fucking killed it. Just killed it.
The best part about...
Okay, I have a question about Blazing Saddle. Has they toned it down recently because of how offensive it is?
Well, it's supposed to be offensive, so if you toned it down, you might as well just throw it in a can and burn it.
It's an interesting concept that you brought up that point, Chris, because I've been going on about this for years. South Park, although I'm way behind in my South Park episodes, I will admit, because I don't have cable, is the only last bastion of the Mel Brooks comedy vibration, the comedy theme.
Nobody is safe.
Nobody is safe. Everyone is a target, and that's the way it should be. That's the way vaudeville
even
was.
Himself. That's one thing that I admire about Mel Brooks is he will laugh at himself. And that's, to me, a mark of a the celebrities I admire the most are the ones that can laugh at themselves. Robert De Niro, amazing actor, but he played a bad guy in a Machete movie. I mean, how less serious can you take yourself than to be in a Machete movie?
I love Machete. Don't knock Machete.
Awesome movie. Do you know where that character came from? Machete? First came from the Robert Rodriguez movie Spy Kids.
Yes.
Machete was the uncle. Because if you remember
right
that movie, everybody in that movie was Latino. Everybody in the movie.
Pretty much.
Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, the kids, Cheech Marin, the entire cast, everybody relevant was Hispanic.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to get you
Not at all. It was a great movie.
Black Belt
Antonio
Jones.
Banderas is one of those actors I just never get tired of watching, no matter what he's doing.
Yeah, he's entertaining no matter what he's doing, whether it's Puss in Boots or the El Mariachi Desperado.
Yes.
He's always entertaining. But Mel, whether it's the producers or 12 Chairs or To Be or Not to Be or History of the World or Young Frankenstein, I love High Anxiety. You can't go wrong with me with Madeline Kahn. If she's in it, I watched Slapstick from Another Galaxy. It's Madeline Kahn and Jerry Lewis. It's pretty much the worst movie ever made, but I would sit through that with just for Madeline Kahn.
Every time you say Madeline Kahn, one line from Blazing Saddles comes to mind.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh man, one too many Schnitzengruben to wipe a man out.
One of the funniest things is her in History of the World Part 1. Yes! No, where are you taking me, Miriam? You have to, or the other lady, not Miriam. Miriam is the one that gets involved with Mel Brooks. You have to pick your escorts for tomorrow night's orgy. I love double time harsh. Yes, no, yes, no, yes. That women everywhere, if they have seen that movie and they have a good sense of humor, all of them fucking not only laugh their asses off when it's happening, they repeat it later when they're going through a group of stuff. Yes, no, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, because every woman, even your mother, if she's seen the movie. Sorry.
Is anybody else looking forward to the sequel to Spaceballs? I don't think Mel Brooks has ever done a sequel before.
No,
not
he
a
never
proper movie sequel.
Has. Well,
ever. He did the History of the World Part 2 kind of TV stuff. I think it wasn't an actual movie.
I couldn't watch it. I'm scared. I watched Happy Gilmore 2, and I understand the plot devices, but dude, if there was ever a movie that didn't need a sequel, I mean,
Highlander.
That's the worst sequel ever made.
They did 2.
Free Men of Zeist. The one with Mario Peebles wasn't that bad, and at least that was
I didn't see it
story.
because the second one traumatized me.
And
then there was the TV
garbage.
series, and my
TV
wife
series was
loves
okay.
the TV series. I have some friends that love the TV series. I couldn't get into it. The movie was self-contained. At the end of the movie, the story was frickin' over. There is no TV show to happen. That's why people get mad when I tell them Highlander, the TV series, is some really cool fan fiction.
Why would they get mad? That's the truth.
No, they'll say it's canon because there was something that happened in one of the episodes that made it. My wife in the chat, rude, all capital letters.
Oh,
she's calling me.
I
haven't watched enough of it. I watched a few episodes, and it reminded me in a way of Kung Fu: The Legendary Journeys, the rehash of Kung Fu. The acting
in the late
in it
90s,
yeah, the acting in that show was not very good. And a lot of times the acting in Highlander was kind of cringe too. Not always, not all the characters, some of the main characters, but some of the bit characters they had on there. Man, I don't know who was directing those episodes, but he had no idea what he was doing.
Movies like Highlander and The Exterminator and all of your Predator, Commando, Raw Deal, Shoot 'em Up, everything. Raw Deal is great because Raw Deal is like one of the really early. You should not drink and bake. It's one of the very early Arnie movies, and they kind of make it so. He has enough lines.
It established the formula.
Yeah, it really did. But it's also the best part of that movie is it's the old man from A Christmas Story as Arnie's boss. Did you ever give up on your kid? Well, he's trying to help him rehabilitate through the injury when he gets shot up. Or no, it's what the fuck is his name? Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Gavin.
No. Hold on, give me a second. Oh wow, I'm really spelling this wrong. Oh here, I'm stupid. What the hell is his name?
Like Gavin McLeod or something like that?
Darren McGavin. We're all very
Darren
close.
McGavin, yes.
I'm like Denholm Elliott is the guy from the Whoopie Boys and The Last Crusade and a couple of the other Indiana Jones movies. He speaks 5 languages. I didn't know he could do all that. Are you kidding? He got lost at his own museum. But no, Darren McGavin is an amazing actor. He's no longer with us. He was it Kolchak the Night Hunter? Night Stalker, excuse me. And he is Billy Madison. He's Brian Madison, Billy Madison's dad. And Billy Madison is actually a really hilarious movie, but it didn't go over very well because...
Ones I've seen, yes.
Well, modern America didn't really connect with a spoiled rich kid who has to stand up and dust himself off and redo his life. Where Happy Gilmore, everybody can identify with the outcast who has been struggling his entire life and, fighting to get where he wants to be, but never actually getting there. Everyone can relate to that. All of us can relate.
I can relate.
Yeah. It is what it is. Mel Brooks. So, also, Life Stinks, Dracula Dead and Loving It, Robin Hood, We're Men in Tights. What's another? Did I say all of them? Damn it. Talking about
how many movies has he directed?
Hold on.
All of them.
All of the movies.
All of the movies.
All the ones that matter.
Well, he and his first wife have 3 kids, and then he and Anne Bancroft have Max. Hold on
I've read
second.
2 of Max's books.
Oh, right on. Actor.
Yeah, he wrote the Zombie Survival Guide.
No way.
Which was, yes, the Zombie Survival Guide was written by Max Brooks, son of Mel Brooks. World War Z is the follow-up, also written.
I met him at Comic-Con. I have his autograph on both of those books.
Yes, that is Mel Brooks' son.
I did not know that.
Not telling me how many Mel directed.
Did I show you guys my Christmas gift myself?
Well, that was nice of you. How is it?
I haven't opened it yet. I haven't had a special occasion, but if you let me know what.
Is it whiskey?
Yes.
Krampus whiskey. Hey, there's one for your list, Rob.
Yeah.
What?
This is the expensive bottle. There's actually a $60 whiskey in a nice box that's for.
Whoa.
They also have one called the Kraken and a couple of others along those same lines.
I've seen
love when they come up with those great name associations. They're usually very, very well made.
The answer
that
to your
one is honey, hazelnut, and like Christmas spices.
Oh, nice.
I'll pass on the hazelnut. I don't like it.
Hazelnut could be overdone. The answer to your
Hazelnut
question
tastes like potpourri.
It kind of does. The answer to your question, Chris, is 11 movies, and the only one we haven't mentioned yet, and it's one of my all-time favorites because honestly, it's one of the first ones I ever saw. Is the Silent Movie in 1976. My dad had a copy of it, and so producers, 12 Chairs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Silent Movie, High Anxiety, History of the World. Where's To Be or Not To Be? Oh, maybe he didn't direct that, but he started in it. Spaceballs, Life Stinks, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Dracula Dead and Loving It. So 95 was the last time he directed a movie. I'm happy because my kids know Mel Brooks before and after I pushed all of his movies on them. But the animated movie, well, it's more CGI, Robots. And it's the only time that Robin Williams and Mel Brooks are in the same movie together. Because Robin Williams is Fender. And
God, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
I love that movie. I even went around to all the McDonald's and got all the little toys. I just found them in a Ziploc bag because I got them for the kids. Same things with all the Bug Lights. Bugs Life Bugs. I had to go to every fucking McDonald's in the area to get all of them so that the kids had all of them on Christmas. But Big Weld is a great character in Robots. Robots is actually a really good movie. Oh, I got this one with me right now. Stella has decided to...
He was begging for pets, so he had to come up.
That's Panda, right? Such a sweetie. Cats. But, you're too low. You gotta get better chairs. Where you're more
He is. He's a big lover.
He's a lover, not a
He's
fighter.
over here pawing on the back of my knee wanting pets. And he's like, no, I'm not going to pet you, but I'll pick you up. Get hair all over my D&D shirt.
There you go. Nice! I got this one. I'm old school with a cassette from Willow and Chip and Beth. Thank you. But no, Mel, when you make fun of everybody, you get universal respect, I think. Because you don't pick sides, you don't pick favorites, everyone's a victim for your comedy. And that's kind of how Don Rickles was the same way. Ed met Don Rickles several times because he worked in Harrah's in Reno. And he said the guy you saw on stage that's how he handled normal people. He made fun of everybody. Nobody was safe. Everybody got the same treatment across the board. So you all felt...
And he was never malicious about it.
But you all felt equal in the same room with the celebrity. Because he makes fun of himself, too.
Yes, because getting spoofed by Don Rickles is kind of like the life equivalent of getting parodied by Weird Al as a musician. It's like, this is the award all musicians want to win. Grammy, bah. Get parodied by Weird Al, that's the pinnacle of success.
I think in every sphere of reality there's that equivalent. Like if you were at Ren Fair and he's back now, but he was gone for a while because he ran a dojo, but Seamus the Insulter. And it's like if I gave Seamus $20 to insult you, I would tell him where to ambush you and your daily routine because I definitely want to be there to watch my $20 worth of insults that he memorizes before he meets you, after he observes you for a little bit, and then, okay, I'm going to do this, and then, okay, dude, just go, I gave you the money, go nuts. And because he did insults for sale and compliments, and I think he's going to be out next month at Ren Fair, because, dude, Tony's Seamus has been out there for a long time. He's an amazing guy. But that's, if you're insulting everybody across the board and making fun of everybody across the board, and you're not going to pick favorites, it not only humanizes, but it has that old and new and common and foreign feel to it all at once. I don't know what the modern equivalent phrase for that is. We're coming up with new words for things now. But that commonality to connect with all walks of life and nationalities of men and women, that kind of comedy is the gold ring. The brass ring, sorry.
It is. And I think, observational comedy is my favorite kind. And he takes it to another level. He takes observational comedy and he can make a whole movie scene built on one observation and expand it,
Did you know that much like William Shatner, Mel Brooks is an absolutely voracious reader?
Oh, yeah. You can hear it in his vocabulary.
And I forget who it was. I think one of the people that wrote with him recently, Mel Brooks is an uncelebrated authority on Russian literature because his mom is from Kiev.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, 12 Chairs, that's actually an old Russian story that he adapted, and him and Dom DeLuise. No, crap, I gotta look up.
That's one of his movies that I have yet to see all the way through.
Hope for the best, expect the worst. Frank Langella, Ron Moody, Dom DeLuise. Go ahead, Chris.
That's life every day.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The story is that a rich relative hid gems in where is that? 1920 Soviet Russia. A fallen aristocrat, a priest, and a con artist search for treasure of jewels hidden inside one of 12 dining chairs lost during the revolution.
Interesting.
So it sounds like it's a mad world mixed with the gift of the Magi kind of.
That movie was awesome.
Yes, it was.
They're the same people that made that movie made another one called The Russians Are Coming. Have you seen it?
I've heard of it.
It's about a panic on the. It's the same kind of zany ensemble comedy as It's a Mad World, but it's about, a supposed Russian invasion of the west coast of the United States.
Gotcha. The Silent Movie isn't the first one, but Silent Movie is a brilliant mile marker in the showcase kind of films. And what I mean by that is the showcase kind of films are movies like It's a Mad World. Later it was revised by, and Seth Green was in it, and Rat Race. And
I remember Rat Race.
Also, well, it's pretty much the same story. And but they're showcase movies like
Scavenger Hunt.
Yeah. Midnight Madness.
Who is the guy that did all those movies? I forget the director, but he did all those.
He did a lot of them. But even the Muppet Show and Cannonball Run fall into that same category.
Yes, they do.
Because they're showcasing Hollywood. We've got these actors that haven't been working. Let's sneak them in, and maybe we'll get letters, and they'll get another movie or a show. And
the Star Wars Christmas special. It was the same variety TV people that brought you Carol Burnett and
I love Carol
a whole bunch of other shit. Yes, I love Carol Burnett, one of the greatest
brilliant.
TV shows of all time.
I'm getting to Harvey Korman, but just give me a minute here.
Yes. Harvey Korman and Art Carney were both part of the Star Wars Christmas special. In fact, Art Carney was the narrator.
Yes, he was.
The Arthur was in that too.
We try not
the
to
Arthur
talk
was in
about
that, yes. She actually sang Star Wars.
Yeah.
They put words to it. It was one of the worst moments.
Space?
It's not Christmas. It's Life Day.
Life Day. One of the worst moments. Please continue.
Starship.
Yes, I only saw it once, and I watched it live, and I was like, oh, and I was just a little kid at the time, and even thought it was cringe then.
Oh, I loved it. I had a bootleg VHS copy of that.
You know how much that is
worth
after
George Lucas passes away, they will put it out on DVD and Blu-ray. You know they will. They're already threatening to put a theatrical release of the original cut of A New Hope out. I will go see
next
that.
Year. Yeah, next year.
Because people will say hand shot first. That is not correct. Hand shot. There were no other shots. Hand shot, period. He shot once. Greedo died. Hand shot, period.
Yeah. But that is the one that they're going to release. They're releasing the non-special edition, the 1977 original cut, which they found in London.
It exists on Laserdisc. There are Laserdisc copies of it still out there. So it's not like it doesn't exist.
It exists, but they don't have the actual film. They found the actual film in London. Somebody had it in a collection or something.
I think we should treat that instance, Han, Greedo, who shot first, who shot last, the same way you should look at True Romance with the fight between Clarence and Drexel and the fight between Alabama and, I don't remember James Gandolfini's characters. He's just one of the thugs of the mafia. I don't even think he has a name. He's just, Guido number 3, thug number 1. But it's that same, if you watch the R-rated version, it's this way. If you watch the NC-17 rated version, it happens this way. If you watch the unrated version, it's way fucking more brutal. So Tarantino just figured out a way to make money 3 times. Or you buy the special edition DVD and you can watch all 3 versions and make your own decision. I think that's the same. Well, it's the same with the Han shot first, Greedo shot first. You're baiting fans to get into an argument to drum up sales. In my opinion.
Well,
my opinion could be wrong.
In the special edition where Greedo shot.
Maybe he wanted it that way. He wanted Jabba to appear in movie number 1 in 77, number 4.
There is a cut scene that had a human actor standing in for him.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
And he was an English actor. He was an okay actor, but he's playing this weird worm alien that they're going to overlay like rotoscope over him later. Only a more modern version of rotoscope. But I think it's that same kind of, if you're going to have extended, like the Lord of the Rings extended, there's so many movies that have extended footage, go for it. Have as many alternate stuff. I wanted to do this, but this is what we ended up happening. This is what ended up working with. Because that's a lot of what happened.
Is it, he ended up, settling. Lucas himself says you never really finish a movie. You just, at some point, you abandon it and it goes out.
Yeah. Sam Raimi wanted to do Spider-Man and they wouldn't let him, so he did Darkman and created a whole nother superhero that's fucking awesome.
Liam Neeson, yes.
Liam Neeson, that's right.
And Arnold Vosloo, the mummy, also.
Arnold Vosloo, yes, he was
good. Really, it doesn't matter. You can have anybody at the end of the first Darkman. It's Bruce walking down the street because he puts the thing on and he looks back and all of a sudden it's Bruce Campbell. It's not Liam Neeson anymore. At the very, very end of the movie, when Liam Neeson is narrating and he walks out into the crowd and he looks back and he puts on what looks like a hood, but when he looks back, it's not a hood, it's another face, and it's Bruce Campbell. So Bruce Campbell is in the first Darkman movie at the
not surprised.
It's the same as Lucas and Harrison Ford, or what's his name? I don't care for David Lynch, but Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah.
Him? What is it? Twin Peaks? I've never seen it. But Dune, I've watched all 6 hours of the Dune. PBS put that out. And only total geeks like me would watch that because I haven't read the book. This is going to be awesome.
I tried to read the book and it wasn't for me.
It sounds really neat. I just haven't read it yet.
I have friends who swear by it. I like what Kyle MacLachlan's doing now. He's one of the bad guys in the TV show Fallout.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, he is the bad guy.
Same thing. I like him and Hugh Grant. I like him as a good guy or a bad guy. Like
Hugh Grant was. Have you seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie from a couple years ago? He was the bad guy in that movie, and he was awesome.
Yes,
and
he was.
Hugh Grant in his old age is really coming into his own as an actor. Have you seen the movie The Gentleman?
Yes.
Guy Ritchie movie.
He's
with Matthew
great.
McConaughey.
He's
he's
fucking
you almost can't you can't even hardly recognize that it's him until you hear him talk.
You're like, this can't be the guy from 9.5 Weeks. Oh, it is. Or Notting Hill. Yeah.
It absolutely is. But yeah, I really liked his. And I'm sorry that D&D movie didn't do better in the box office because it was an amazing movie. And I'm hoping that, at some point maybe they can drum up enough interest to continue it. But I don't think we're going to get another D&D.
I would really like to see that party continue their campaign. That would be awesome because it was.
They left it open.
Well, the problem with the first one is you don't have any connection. The one in 1999 with Jeremy Irons. You don't have a connection with any of the main characters. They're all very vanilla, and go ahead.
I think the problem with the first one is you're right. They're all very vanilla, and they were writing a Hollywood movie, not a D&D adventure. And the people making the movie really didn't understand D&D the way you needed to understand it. There were 2 follow-ups, but they were both very low budget. Looked like they were made in somebody's garage. And, while the plot might be good, the actual execution of the movies was awful.
I heard the plot and the acting was good, but the dialogue and the directing was kind of...
And the special effects looked like highlight markers on a piece of Lexan.
Well, I mean, special effects, you can afford what you can afford, especially here. But also, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things they did right with the first one, and there's a lot of things that Hollywood took over. For one, I've never played a campaign where characters run around. I'm 5th level. I'm 3rd level. I'm 20th level.
That was where it broke for me. Is the point where the thief guy, the only black guy, the one who dies, is going to run this thief gauntlet. And he says, well, I'm not high enough level. Yeah, that was, obviously written by people that don't play D&D.
You'd have to be in your own little world to get.
There would be a way to word it. There would be a way to word it that didn't make it sound like gaming. I don't think I'm skilled enough to do that. My mastery of skills isn't.
You don't even have to. Go ahead. Sorry.
You just say I'm not up to it. You
don't even have to self-reflect. You could literally have the Marlon Wayans character going, I've never seen anything like this before, and that would tell you right there that, well, okay, we're beyond his capacity for traps or puzzles or. I mean, thieves come in handy in a campaign all the fucking time.
Yeah, I bought that movie for $1.99 in the Walmart discount bin.
It's right there on this show.
And I still have it.
I have to.
And, I watched it once, and I've never had a desire to see it again.
Now and then, if I need a good laugh, I bring it out again. But
Jeremy Irons overacting is one of the best things he can do.
Always. But on the other hand, it's a D&D movie, so it's like watching Mazes and Monsters or the D&D cartoons. So, even though this is terrible, it's still the topic that I enjoy. Even though Willow is a 500 times better movie with,
Yes, it was a D&D movie. There are a lot of them out there.
Total
Legend was a better D&D movie than D&D. Legend was an amazing D&D movie.
You want me to go one step further?
Tom Cruise.
Hold on. I'll go one step further. Hawk the Slayer was a better D&D movie than the D&D.
Yes, Hawk the Slayer was great. And it's interesting that the movie Legend, The Darkness, in the Castles and Crusades, the role-playing game we're playing, in their official game world is called Aired, and the campaign is called After Winter's Dark, and it is literally picks up where the darkness, called Unclar in this game, gets basically banished from the world and ends the winter that was started when the unicorn horn was stolen. So the campaign world for Castles and Crusades is Legend.
Really?
With the names changed. Yes, it is
read
Legend.
The book you sent me more, I guess.
I'll send you some of the campaign material because the player's handbook is just it's a world agnostic thing, but I've got the game setting for it. And yes, it was deliberately made off of the movie Legend.
That I did not
know. It is a continuation of that.
Legend is a great movie. I mean, it's pretty much
a young Tom Cruise.
Yeah, young Tom Cruise, Mia Sarah, excuse me, and
Tim Curry is the villain.
Tim Curry, and what's his name?
What
plays-
have we here? A little boy?
Yeah, Meg. What's his Robert? Fuck, from Voyager and Total Recall. What's his name?
Robert Picardo?
Thank you. Yeah.
He was also in Inner Space.
Yeah, I love Inner Space. That's
He
a
was
fun
the
movie.
cowboy. He was that assassin in Inner Space.
Really?
He
What?
was great. Yes, he was the cowboy in Inner Space. He was the assassin sent to kill Martin Short's character.
I'm an old cowhand of the Rio Grande.
Only, yes.
Dennis Quaid and Martin Short were a good combo. I wish they had done. Also, Three Fugitives, the one with Martin Short and Nick Nolte. That was a funny. They don't make like feel good movies anymore. We either have tragic movies or these like blockbuster. Dude, just make a simple film that people enjoy. It doesn't have to be. You can have a mindless escape for an hour and a half. It's all right.
That's the kind of movies I like, mindless escapes. You know, that's why I go see all the superhero movies. You know, I want to see people doing fantastic shit and beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
You know, escapism, that's my kind of movie.
Not every movie has to be 12 Monkeys or Brazil or Inception or
No.
Mrs. Peregrine's School for the Gifted, where you have to have a 3-hour discussion about it after you see it, because you're like, whoa. But sometimes you can just watch Commando or Raw Deal or
Yes.
Hudson Hawk
Absolutely.
and just have a good time. And
Hudson Hawk is awesome.
Bunny, ball. Some of those movies are just fun to watch. The Exterminators. You don't take that movie seriously. You just enjoy it because it's fun. It's a fun, stupid time travel movie. Same thing with Time Rider. Same thing with Silver Auto and all the.
See, I like going to see odd movies. Sometimes a movie can be an art statement. There was a movie came out several years ago. It was the subject matter was Ip Man, who was the martial arts master
Teacher
that
of Bruce
trained
Lee.
Bruce Lee. Yes, and this is a movie called The Grandmaster. If you've not seen it, basically the entire movie is a bunch of amazingly artfully filmed and choreographed kung fu scenes. But it is mind-boggling. There's one fight where they do it in the rain, and I mean this is fight choreography as art. If you need to see this movie,
Yes, I do. Apparently, I'm all
we
down
went
for
and
a
saw it in the
Chinese karate
theater.
movie.
Yes, we went and saw it in the theaters, and it was amazing.
Right on.
Yes, I am.
No, Ip Man, the whole series is brilliant. All of those movies with Donnie Yen and the other guy who plays Ip Man when he's young, all of those were good. That's so far away from Mel Brooks, though.
It is, but we're on movies.
Yeah, Mel Brooks
So
learned to
let me ask a question about Mel Brooks. Maybe you guys
Sure.
can answer it. Always a director, or was he an actor before he started directing?
He was an actor before he started directing.
Yes, he was an actor and a writer for television before he was a movie director.
Okay.
And Carl Reiner.
Here's the interesting thing about comedians. I fall into this myself. A lot of comedians, along with Dana Carvey and others, they get into. I came up with a show where I did drums and comedy, and that evolves into piano. And then they kind of make their own show, and that's how they kind of. Peter Sellers in England did the same thing, where when he came back from World War II, he had a
There was,
drums and comedy show.
I believe that, and Paul would tell me about this, the Goon Show, where Peter Sellers and Marty Feldman and I think John Cleese was on it and some other,
That was
classic British comedians, predated Monty Python.
The Goon Show kind of, it predates Monty Python because the Pythons were, well, not Terry Gilliam because he's an American, but they were listening to the show when they were in like primary school and secondary school, and like Michael Palin and Terry Jones, and they would memorize it and then perform it for the kids at school on Monday.
It's like my kids. My kids can sit there and between the three of them completely act out the dialogue of a scene from an anime movie. They know every word, every nuance, all of it.
Oh my God, nothing's changed. My sisters and I used to do Clash of the Titans back in the 80s when we got cable because that was on all the time.
That's
In
my
my
mother-in-law's
mind's eye.
favorite movie.
It was ours too. We watched it continuously, but we saw it so much. My sisters also loved like Grease 2, the pirate movie. If it was goofy and in the 80s, they were into it. The spray bottle, it works. I command you, no barking or wetness. Oh, I don't like wetness. But it's an interesting thing that all of the generations, your kids are they're doing anime, and then we were doing goofy 80s movies.
I was doing 80s cartoons, all right? I in the movies because we didn't have a VCR.
80s
Or cable.
cartoons. 80s cartoons. Pac-Man, the Shmoo.
No. Herculoids and Space Ghost.
Space
Go!
The Herculoids. What was it? We talked about them
Come
before.
on.
Teen Titan? No, not the Teen Titans. Teen Force. The three kids on
G-Force.
motorcycles that were driving through space. They were attached to Space Ghost.
Yep. And then, what's the other one? With the,
Thunder
it had
the
Mandrake the
Barbarian.
Magician. It had Mandrake the Magician, the Phantom, Tarzan,
Defenders of the Earth.
Defenders of the Earth. That's right. Yes.
You had Defenders of the Earth, you had Tarzan, Adventures of Tarzan, you had Flash Gordon. And at first
Yeah.
they gave you the movie cut up into slices, and then they had a show for a little bit because Oppenheimer... Oh, am I still connected? Can you still hear me? Yes. Oppenheimer is the voice of Ming the Merciless, and then later he's Skeletor. It's like, that's the same voice. But you're Alan Oppenheimer, so it's okay. Because he gets apparently stopped in, like, Alan Oppenheimer, where do I know that name from? I'm a famous actor. How do I know you? Well, were you a kid in the 80s? Well, yes. Oh my God, it's Skeletor! Because he just does the laugh, and people immediately know that's Skeletor. Hey man! And then he does shit like that, and of course, like people our age are like, ah! You know.
Oh, that voice!
Wouldn't you be? I'd want his fucking autograph. Oh my God! I'm sorry to ask, but may I have your autograph, please? It's going to have Patrick Swayze. And, I'm sorry. Can I have your autograph? At the time, my fiance is like totally in love with you. Oh my God! I never hear the end of this if I don't ask you for your. Oh yeah, sure. Such an asshole. Yeah, I live and learn. What do you know? The trick is, unless you're standing in line, don't ask. Let them offer. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Do you want my autograph? Yes. It's the whole reason I'm helping you.
Right?
No good deed goes unpunished or unwarranted. But no. So, he doesn't work for him anymore. Hasn't for years. But I was talking about Mel Brooks movies to one of my neighbors who will remain nameless. And we just started talking about Mel Brooks. And then she made the comment that one of her relatives works for Mel Brooks. And I'm like, you're lying. So then she went into her house and proceeded to produce multiple pictures of her son and Mel Brooks. Do you know how many scripts I have? You know what? Never mind. It's not important.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh my God! I hate my life. So close to the prize, but completely oblivious all the time.
Was not meant to be.
You know, you make your own way. It's that much better. And then you got to make your own way, and then it's worth more to you in the end. That's what all them biblical stories are about. You got to suffer through it, Jimmy. Rub dirt on it. Walk it off. Rub off the pain, Johnny. Run. So, yeah.
I can't. My leg is broken.
It's an amputee, Coach. We'll strap
Mel
part of
Brooks. Mel Brooks is one of the last surviving members of the Greatest Generation.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up. He was born in the 20s. He came up. I was looking through some of the history. He graduated from VMI, Virginia Military Institute, in 1944. Became a combat engineer at 18 years of age. So, the Greatest Generation, those who fought in World War II. But he's also one of the few members of the Greatest Generation who has been able to improvise, adapt, and overcome with every generation that has come since. He didn't stay stuck in one time. He didn't live in the 50s. He didn't live in the 60s. He didn't live in the 70s. He didn't live in the... He embraced each, carried them forward, and adapted to them, brought them along, and he's helped every generation since grow just a little bit, whether they knew it or not.
Yeah.
He's an amazing gentleman, an amazing anomaly when you think about it. Most folks can deal with one or two generations around their own generation, and then it becomes a little more difficult the further out they get. Mm-hmm. Some people have that skill, that capacity to just go, you know what? Show me what you got, kid.
Yeah.
Let me learn from you. Now I'm going to take it and make
I'm
it something
always
additional.
willing to learn something new or get a new exposure or try something different. You know, I feel sorry for the people that I call it comfort music. People that have music that they listened to when they were in high school, or maybe even worse, listen to the music their parents listened to and never evolve beyond
They
that.
don't learn anything new. They don't. So, Chris, the way that... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The way the timeline goes from after what Rob just said, it's... He gets sent to France in 1944. And in high school, before what he said happens, they give him an aptitude test, which is basically like an IQ test. And he scores phenomenally high. So, you come with us, son. You're going to be a combat engineer. You're going to learn how to build bridges and find landmines and know which buildings are going to be, crumble, which ones aren't safe to hide in, and all this other stuff. So they ship him off to France, and he's even, kind of involved with the Battle of the Bulge, because
he was involved in the Battle of the Bulge. He got to see some horrendous things being in the Battle of the Bulge. He came through some of the worst of it in 1944, 1945.
There's a podcast. We always support other podcasts, but there's a podcast where he talks about being driven to the area where the Battle of the Bulge is going on, and in the ditches there are bodies covered with blankets and sheets and mattress covers, and he knew that they were Americans, and they were stacked on top of one another. They had been dead for a while, and he had that could be me. I need to be real careful. That could be... So he gets up to a certain point, and it's 1945, and he's doing... He antagonizes the Germans by singing Al Jolson songs through a bullhorn, and then that evolves into setting up a PA system and blasting Al Jolson at the Nazis because, well, Jolson's Jewish and all that. But so he's antagonizing the Nazis and trying to irritate them, all the while he's kind of raising up in the ranks. And then, like, they're in the mess hall, and there's another army soldier who makes an anti-Semitic remark, and Brooks kind of loses his cool and kind of bashes the guy over the head with his mess kit, and that kind of... But before that, he's in this performing... He has to go down in rank to become one of the performers. It's kind of like the USO before the USO. So he's
Special services.
Yes. So he's entertaining troops, and then he gets dishonorably discharged, so he goes back to New York. And then his mom sets him up this perfect job, but he's like, forget that, take me to the Catskills, taxi driver. So he works at the Catskills, and first he's like, busting tables and being a waiter and doing that stuff, but then he proves how funny he is, but all the while he's already met Sid Caesar, and the Buddy Rich taught him how to play drums because they're both from the same area in New York. They knew each other. They were both performers. So
they played the Borscht Belt together.
That's
years before the war. They played the Borscht Belt together.
So he kind of got back into that, the Borscht Belt after the war, and that was a circuit that kept him working. So then,
what blew my mind that he learned to play from Buddy Rich, one of the all-time great drummers ever.
Like even like John Bonham and Keith Moon and Neil
Ginger
Peart
Baker,
and
yeah.
Ginger
A
Baker
lot of people
idolized
bow to
Buddy
Buddy
Rich.
Rich.
Oh yeah, Neil Peart was. That would be like me being able to sit down and Neil Peart say, "Come here, kid. I'm going to show you how to do a quick set on the drum."
Oh my God!
Thank
Please.
you, God.
Or even like Mickey Hart or what?
What made Buddy Rich great was not that he was just a great drummer. It was his versatility as a drummer. The number of different ways he could drum. A lot of great drummers, they have one way they do things. Neil Peart, maybe one of the greatest drummers, but his music all fit into that very technical, very progressive style.
Neil Peart's in the top two.
Yeah, he's right up there. But like I said, he's specialized. He wasn't a more well-rounded drummer the way, say, Ginger Baker
Ginger
was.
Baker or Buddy Rich or
Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich.
Another one who doesn't get mentioned often enough is Ian Pace.
yes.
He is like up there with Buddy Rich in that he's a chameleon of a drummer. He's a phenomenal drummer, and he has so many different styles in his kit. He's the driving force behind what made Deep Purple what it was.
And they played originally on 3 drum kits. 3 drums, 2 cymbals. And that was it. And they could go wild.
And
Neil Peart was incredible, but Neil Peart had to climb into his drum set. But he was able to do so many extraordinary things when you left him alone. But Buddy Rich could get out there with a 3 drum set, 2 cymbals,
and rip it up.
and
Sammy
just
Davis
go
Jr. was the same way.
crazy. Yeah, just extraordinary.
But
Sammy
what I
Davis-
like,
Go ahead.
I'm say what I like about Ian Pace. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Is that among all those drummers you named, he's still doing it. Deep Purple is still active, and he is still in the band, and he is the only original member of the band left.
I would say there's probably about 2,000 or 3,000 drummers that I absolutely idolize, but
I don't like ranking drummers like I don't like ranking guitar.
yeah,
I have favorites, but I can't tell you one's better than another.
it's that they're all
You
different.
can't.
They
You
all
have
have their
favorites.
own style.
The one that I'm waiting for when it comes to drummers is there's the young lady that Dave Grohl brought up on stage, and I believe she's from England. Wonderful young lady. At the time I first saw her, I think she was 11 or 12 years old.
Oh yeah.
And she got up on stage with Dave Grohl. And Dave Grohl had the great time because he saw one of her videos, one of her YouTube videos, and he said, she's here. I got to put her on. Got to put her on the drums.
Get up here, honey.
And then she got the opportunity to go. There's another YouTuber, and everybody forgive me, I couldn't tell you the name of the YouTube channel or the YouTuber themselves, but they take drummers and they try to find drummers who have not heard a particular song, a particular genre, and they set them down in a full set, and they say, here, I'm going to let you listen to the song. We're going to pull the drum track out. And then I want you to come up with the drum track for it. And they did it with her with a modern rock band. For the life of me, I couldn't remember the tune. The thing that really struck me was she got into it, and she was doing some amazing advanced level drum work with it. But she had followed, or she had developed much of what the original drum track was, and then taken up many of the steps to the next level. And the guys that were running the channel, the guys that were in the booth, were listening to what she did, and she couldn't hear their commentary, but their commentary was like, oh my God, she picked that up. Oh my God, she ran with that. Yeah. Oh my God, she's incredible. And I just thought, this kid is going to be something extraordinary. Yeah. She already is. She's going to be able to go to the next level.
Mandy Bushell.
Yes.
And she's an African-born British musician.
She is extraordinary, and it made my heart swell when I watched it, because it reminds me of my grandchildren when they get in charge, when they get enthralled with something and they jump into it and they show, like what we saw Isabel do when you guys first let her play D&D, and she jumped in with both feet. So as I watch this, it as a father and a grandfather, you go, oh yeah, that's a proud papa moment. Go for it, kid. Anybody gets in your way, I got him.
Don't worry about it.
She is the light of the group. I think she is jumping in, both feet, arms flailing, trying to knock something out. She is just so much fun to watch.
So I know we're going to be adding a couple of new players. Rob, you said you had a lodge mate that's coming?
I have a young man who will be getting his first degree on March 24th at the lodge that meets in my building, different lodge. Very nice young man. He's got an interesting background in history. He was a Marine, and then he got out of the Marines, decided that he really enjoyed the military over the civilian life, and went back and joined the Army and picked up a career. Had a wonderful career that way, came back out. But he has played Dungeons and Dragons because he had a girlfriend who was very much involved in it. And so he got into one-shots with her and enjoyed it. And when I told him that we played, he said, wow, I really like that. That's great. If you guys do another one-shot, I'd love to do it. I said, well, I got something for you. Our DM plays an open game where he lets people drop in and drop out as long as you do so, and you work with it, you play with the game, and everybody's happy. You show up, you've always been there. If you can't make it, you were never there. You show up again, you're
part
back.
Of it is, and it's a plausible narrative in the game, is that you guys are part of a huge caravan sent out with caravans and horses and tents and supplies and everything. And at any given time, there's that nebulous camp. And everybody that's not with you is back at camp. If you played the video game Baldur's Gate 3, when your characters go back to camp, they're not anywhere on the map. They're at camp, which is its own thing. And so, anybody that's not with you is back at camp. Yes, things like that.
Antonio is excited about it. He texted me again tonight to let me know he's excited to come out. He's a chips and salsa aficionado. So he's going to bring chips and salsa. He's going to find the best chips and salsa to bring. I said, buddy, you're welcome to bring what you like. Yeah, we'll all enjoy it.
Yes. My middle child, Jessica, will also be joining us. I had been holding her off because I had held the spot for somebody else who flaked 2 sessions in a row. and so they have lost their opportunity to play, and I've given it to her instead because she asked. She had asked back at the first game, and it's like, well, there's somebody else that's kind of been on my list. He's been bugging, and it's like, let me give him a chance first. Gave him 2. He didn't take either one. And so this isn't baseball. You don't get 3 strikes with me.
Sometimes
when I decide you're out, you're out.
Yeah,
you can kick dirt. You can kick dirt at me if you want, but
Isabel is so excited. I told you guys I gave her the dice. She got those Stitch dice.
Yes.
For D&D. She lost it when she got those. Then she opened the other gift, which was all of the figures. And she looked through them, and none of them were specifically identified as paladins. So she looked, Zach told me later, she asked Zach, can we go? We need to order another set like that because there's not enough paladins in my set. I'm like, sweetheart, we got you covered. We'll get you taken care of.
Honestly, in the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie, the actor and whoever wrote the character of the Zank, the actual paladin in the game, spot on. They're actually like that. They're giant.
Yes, trivia piece for that movie, that character wasn't supposed to be in that part.
Really?
That part of the movie was supposed to be Drizzt Do'Urden.
No way.
Yes, and they decided, no, we don't want to use him here. We're going to hold him out as his own property.
Oh, yeah.
And it was rewritten to write Zankian, the paladin, the Thayan paladin. See, I have been running D&D in the Forgotten Realms for 30 years, and so all of the things they mentioned in that movie were familiar to me, like it was a world I had lived in.
Yep.
All of it. Right up to Zastam, the Lich Lord of the land of Thay, who is, the big bad guy. If the movie became a franchise, he would be the big bad guy.
He really would. He's in the game.
He is one of the biggest, baddest, big bad guys out there. And, the first Forgotten Realms campaign I ran, the Red Wizards, if they were the bad guys. If I was going to run one now, I would have picked if I was going to make a movie, I would have picked the Red Wizards as the bad guy.
They're always the bad guy. They did so many things right in that movie. Yes, they did several things wrong, but that doesn't matter.
I don't think maybe the Druid wild shape sequence was fun. It wasn't canon to D&D, but it was fun. And rule of cool with the movie. Rule of cool. Sometimes the rules got to be thrown aside because that sounds cool, and you got to let the rule of cool win sometimes.
Other than that, they used. Well, I mean, come on! It's the first time a mimic is on a screen anywhere.
Or a Displacer Beast.
Or a Displacer Beast. And those are common things. I mean, yeah, we had a, dragon and dead guys and things like that. But I find myself watching that movie because Ed was like, let's go see it. And I'm like, oh, let me explain 1999 Dungeons & Dragons to you. No, it'll be great. So we sat there and watched the movie. It's he and I. And there's like 4 other dudes in this theater that are all in random places. It's like, oh, the theater's empty. That's not a good sign. And like you said, there were so many references to the Forgotten Realms via video games or books or the canon of the modules.
So everything they mentioned, I could point on a map and tell you where that was and tell you some of the history of it.
And the 1980s cartoon.
The 1980s cartoon I never really got to watch because it came out right as I went into the Army. So I have only seen like one episode, but it was not very D&D. It was your typical early 80s cartoon crap.
Yep.
Yeah. But they had
great for the time.
But it was great because there was a whole bunch of actors that were in shows like Good Is Enough and all these, Or 8 is
8
enough.
is enough.
Sorry, excuse me.
8 is enough.
8 is enough.
And Happy Days?
Happy Days, because Donnie... Well, okay, the youngest kid from 8 is enough, Adam is Presto, and Eric the Cavalier is Donnie Most, and what's his name is Hank.
Yes. I don't remember what his name is.
But in Charles in Charge, he's Charles's best friend with Scott Baio.
Oh,
And he's in the movie Zapped with Scott Baio. He plays he's like constantly cast as Scott Baio's best friend.
Willie Ames.
Yes! Thank you. And I
You're
don't
welcome.
remember who did Bobby and then the two women. I don't remember who did Venger or the Dungeon Master. But there were in and out characters that were famous actors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And
But just
it was
seeing them
exciting
amazing.
to us.
Right.
It was great for us because Dungeons and Dragons, wow, see, we're not that bad, you assholes. We're not geeks. We have a cartoon. Fuck off.
you worship devils. No, we kill devils. They're worth a lot of experience points. You don't
That's right.
understand.
I want to get to the 6th level because I get really cool spells there.
But oh, damn it! We keep segueing. But that was a really cool discussion.
That's what I like about the whole idea of the Geek Council is we'll be on a topic and we'll non sequitur right into something else and roll with that for a while. And we may come back around to what we were talking about.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. I've always loved President Taylor's old moniker, Old Rough and Ready. And that really hits home because we may not be polished. We may not be completely together, but we're ready. Let's do this. Come on, let's go.
That's right. We should be, ours should be old, rough
and
comma, butt ready.
butt ready. Yeah, they're butt ready. No, that. And that. There's a lot of truth in all of those statements, even with the butts.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it will look like at the Geek Lodge retirement home in a few decades. This is what we'll see on the front porch as we're all sitting around speaking about things and arguing
Playing
with the group
Dungeons
that
and
sits over
Dragons.
there.
Playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we've got to have somewhere for the dirty pirate hookers to go when they're
That's
retired.
right.
And
They've got to have some place to hang out.
we were talking about D&D movies, and we did not mention Krull or Lady Hawk. I just want to point that out.
Or Dragon Slayer.
Ooh, Peter McNichol. Such a good
What
movie.
was the what was the one with the guy that had the sword with the pommel that was a hand and had the magic stone?
Sword in the Stone. Or Sword in the
That would go every
Sorceress.
so often.
Sword and the
Yeah.
Sorceress, Warrior and the Sorceress. Sword and the Sorceress has Richard Mole in it as the demon guy. It's like
Sword and the Sorcerer was Lee Horsley, right?
yeah, it was great.
It was such a cheesy movie.
It was terrible, but it was great.
It was.
Did you mention Hawk the Slayer?
Yes.
Yes, we did
Yes,
mention
we
Hawk
did.
the Slayer.
Hey,
Hawk the Slayer and Lady Hawk. The movie with a fantastic cast, an amazing script, costumes they found somewhere, and then there's that soundtrack. Other than that, the movie is amazing. Michelle
The
Pfeiffer.
costumes from a Ren Fair.
They really are. They're not. Yeah. Like if they made Lady Hawk now, who would you cast in it?
Because I missed 3 years of American culture from 1984 to 1987. There were a number of movies, TV shows,
Please
and
say Lady Hawk.
record album. I've never seen Lady Hawk. I've never had the opportunity. Every time I've had the opportunity, somebody comes along and interrupts my opportunity to watch it.
Oh my God, that would
And
be so
so,
frustrating.
yeah, and I'm one of those people that, unless I've already seen the movie, I can't catch it in the middle and keep watching it. I have to see everything. I have to see the trailers before the movie, or I don't think I've got my money's worth.
I'm right with the in the boat rowing next to you. I hate it when the whip hits me in the back. Don't you? Yeah. I'm like that too, and I totally agree. Lady Hawk is a culmination of all of the best elements. The cast is fantastic. Rutger Hauer,
Another
Michelle
movie,
Pfeiffer.
D&D movie from the era that kind of gets forgotten. Mark Singer in The Beastmaster.
The Beastmaster and the
Yes.
Beastmaster 2 and 3.
Beastmaster was an awesome D&D movie.
Send your cousin over to ask me. Okay. I love
And of course, the first Conan movie had some amazing D&D moments.
Yep.
The Beast. Well, Conan is in its own category because it's a D&D movie, but it's Conan.
Yes,
It's Conan. He will not cry, so I
Robert
cried
E.
for
Howard,
him.
one of the greatest writers of all time, in my opinion.
He's the movie itself. Dino De Laurentiis just did an amazing job. The script is good. Yeah, it's timeless. Really. For a fantasy movie, it's kind of timeless. I mean,
And
yeah.
they chose
Yeah,
to
because
remake great folks, some great character actors to play the heavies, and they did a really, really good job. Everybody, you can tell when watching the film, everybody had a good time doing it. They wanted to be a part of that film. They got the chance to really enjoy themselves as they did it.
yes, the second Conan movie,
was fun.
a little
It was
bit
fun.
different. It was fun, but it was definitely more of a family-oriented movie and not the serious drama that the first Conan movie
Well,
actually
you had
was.
sexy Princess What's-Her-Name for the entire film, and I'm okay
We
with
had
that.
sexy Grace Jones too.
Sexy Grace Jones is good, but I was more interested in Sexy Princess What's-Her-Name or her evil stepmother.
Yes.
She was also good.
Yes.
Grace
And,
Jones was over the
Raven
top.
Knock from my chat also wants to mention Red Sonja. Another
Yes.
movie I have not seen the entire movie.
Okay.
I have not had the opportunity to see the
I
entire
love-
movie.
I love Red Sonja, but I love Red Sonja for Paul Smith. So I hope what would you say?
Raven Knock. He's a friend of mine.
Right on. I hope he will either agree or disagree with me on that because Paul Smith is one of those underrated actors. He is in Red Sonja. He's in Haunted Honeymoon. He plays Bluto in the Popeye movie with Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall.
Oh, I know who he is.
Yeah. And he's an underrated. He's also in a movie called Crime Wave that my sister Beth was obsessed with Brian James. It's absolutely awesome. I think it's an early Sam Raimi film, if I'm not
Raven
mistaken.
agrees. He says he was glorious.
I love Paul Smith. I think he's a terribly underrated actor. But the Conan movies, you have Max von Sydow, you've got James Earl Jones, you've got the dude that Arnie, he plays one of Thulsa's Dooms. Was it Morgred? Morgred Reese, that snake is a baby. And Arnold quoted that guy as being one of the strongest men he ever met because he's like, I'm a bodybuilder, but I can't do the stuff that this guy can do.
Sven-Ole Thorsen,
That's the
who
man.
was
Yeah,
he's
no,
a strong man and a football player.
I forget his name, but at the beginning of the movie, there's one barbarian that comes running into the scene, and he jumps up on a rock and poses, and he's all buff.
Yep.
He was Mr. Universe.
And he's
one of the other Mr. Universes besides Arnold.
He's the
And
other
I
guy that
forget his
Arnold
name.
got a job. But he's been in other stuff too, but
I want to say Marco something. Or,
damn it, now I have to look it up. Uh-oh. I paused that. I hope that
But
didn't
yeah,
affect.
he was a major
Wait, is OC
bodybuilder.
Hold on, Mel. We're going to look this guy up. What'd you say, Chris?
Feeling his OCD.
I don't know if it's OCD. It's more like ADD obsession. Because in 5 minutes I won't give a shit. But right now, oh my god, I have to know!
Krull as a fantasy movie was originally going to be called Kull the Conqueror. And Kull the Conqueror is another character written by Robert E. Howard.
He has
he's
the hand.
Kull the Conqueror, they didn't get because it was still under copyright at the time, they didn't get the rights. So they changed it to Krull, and they changed, basically the whole movie ended up being a different movie. And I don't know why they called that weapon a glaive, because a glaive is a polearm, not a throwing star.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay,
But
so
Crow was an all. Franco Colombo, Lava
Franco
Beach,
Colombo.
Franco Colombo.
yeah, I just looked it up, and then
That's right. Franco Colombo was one of the smallest guys on the
He
stage.
was short, but he
and
was.
they used to
dude,
love
the dude was
Arnie.
just buff.
Arnie's 6 foot. Arnie used to love to rest his arm on Franco's head.
Arnie's 5'10". He's not 6 foot. He wishes he was 6 foot. Like I wish I was 6.
He used to love to harass. They used to be. They used to have all kinds of fun. There's a. Which one? What was the? What was the film that they did about all of the guys? There was a
Pumping Iron?
Was it Pumping Iron?
I think so.
Where they followed all the guys while they were lifting and working out. And there's this.
Yeah, that was Arnie's first movie.
Yeah, those dudes
There
are
was
fucking
a-
huge.
There's a scene where they're in Franco's hometown, I think it was. Somebody had boxed in one of his family members' cars. So the guys walk over and they pick up the car and move it off. We move it out of the way. So they
With the Army Jeep a couple of times. An Army Jeep was light enough that 4 people could pick it up and move it. And
Yep.
Light, heavy, still
we
hysterical.
had this one space right out in front of our headquarters that was reserved for the sergeant major. And, nobody parks in that spot. Well, one day, the sergeant major comes back from wherever, and there's somebody parked in his spot. So he grabs 4 of us, and we pick up this Jeep, and we spin it sideways, and we carry it between these 2 poles and set it down where you can't move it because there's a pole at the front bumper and a pole at the back bumper with inches to spare. And then the sergeant major is like, I'm going to wait for the lieutenant that owns this Jeep to come back and explain why it's blocking my sidewalk.
That's good. Oh.
back in the good old days.
Now the best thing they could do is do old Conan. When he's because he's
yes.
the perfect age
Now,
now.
they did a reimagining of Conan with Jason Momoa, but
Perfect
unfortunately,
choice.
2 things with the movie. One, it was way under promoted, so it went beyond most people. And 2, the bad guy, what makes Conan stories cool is the wild exotic places he goes and the people he meets and the epic battles he has. In that movie, all of the places felt generic. All the people he met felt generic. Nothing about the movie was exotic. He made a great Conan, but even the bad guy didn't stand out.
She's my friend, so that helps.
Yeah.
It was
I
a
would love to
decent
see
movie.
him.
It was a decent Conan movie, but it wasn't a great
God,
Conan.
I hate that you're tearing
And he's
apart.
matured more now.
Yeah.
Because I think he would play very well as Conan again
I thought he
in
did
one of the
very
next stories. I think he would do very well to carry that on. Conan the King, something
Conan
like
the
that.
Conqueror.
Take any of
They
it.
don't even need to make shit up. They can just
Conan,
pull
the
it,
King of Aquilonia, yes.
He was destined to wear the crown of Aquilonia upon a troubled brow. There's your story right
I'm
there.
a huge Conan
Yep.
freak, yes.
That's what Mako says in the very, very beginning.
You could have fun with that too if you had Jason Momoa play Conan again, and you have Arnold come in,
Old Conan.
play old Conan, or play an old king that was. Now you've got Conan the King, and Arnold is playing another king from a northern kingdom that is aligned with. You could have a lot of fun with that. You could enjoy it. They would do very well, but you'd have to have a really good script, a really good writing team to pull it off without it being campy. And that would be the thing that I wouldn't have fun, but don't make it a campy movie.
Yeah, don't destroy it. 'Cause
That's what I felt. The second movie got a little campy at times, but it was more of a D&D movie than the first Conan movie.
no.
If you want to do campy, that's where you bring in Mel Brooks. Say, Mel, have a field day.
Let's
Oh,
do
I
Lord
would
of the
love for
Rings,
Mel Brooks to do a fantasy movie. I love that. When before he did Spaceballs, he went to George Lucas and he's like, I don't want you to sue me, but I want to do a parody of Star Wars. And George Lucas says, have at it.
Yeah. Why would I
With
sue
one,
you?
with
Go,
one,
go, go.
now he's like, one caveat: you can't make any toys.
Yeah, that's the only part that
See,
sucks about that deal.
That's what George Lucas made his money. Is like,
Yep.
I'm going to sell this movie to Fox, because it was the most successful independent movie of all time at the time. Because people forget that while it was distributed by 20th Century Fox, Star Wars was an independent film.
It really was.
Yep.
It was, and but it wasn't the one that really set the tone for merchandise marketing. Where that happened, do you know what movie was the first one to come out with merchandise ahead of the premiere of the movie? It only predated Star Wars by a few years.
Was it Planet
And
of
it had
the
a whole
Apes?
franchise. Bingo, it was Planet of the
I
Apes.
was going to say,
Started
this sounds
coming
really
out with lunch.
familiar. I just saw a
Planet
thing on
of the
this.
Apes started coming out with lunch boxes
Yep.
and things before the movie came out. And
Oh,
George Lucas saw that and said, "Ha! I want
My-
all the toy rights to my movies."
My
And
sister. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
No, toy rights.
Yes, that's where George Lucas made his bank, is he kept all the toy rights to all the Star Wars movies. They're mine.
I'm going to make you kids pay for these AT-AT walkers.
And Mel Brooks
You
did not
remember
hold back on that shot either
The
when he shot across the
gift
top.
box, there was such a demand, and they were so late getting them to production that for Christmas, the first year of Star Wars, the figures weren't available, but your parents could buy you an empty box with certificates for the figures when they came out.
Yep.
Do you remember this?
No.
Yeah.
There's a documentary series called "The Toys That Made Us."
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that
And,
series.
oh God,
Yeah,
you,
I
if
love
you've
that
not
show.
watched it, you guys need to watch that. It's
I haven't seen
because the
this.
Star
Yeah.
Wars toys is one of the episodes.
That the sister show or the companion show is the movies that made us.
The movies that made us, yes.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of movies
That's a
that made
companion
us.
show.
Yeah.
Elf is on that one.
Elf.
Bill.
I love Elf. I love Elf and the Grinch, and well, we're straying from Mel Brooks. He never made a Christmas movie, but he really needs to before he dies. Which is even better because he's super Jewish. Most Jews love Christmas. They don't hate it. They love the lights. They love
He
the
had
tree.
Jesus in one of his movies.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
He said
That's a
God
Christmas
and-
movie.
Yeah.
Let
No.
Mel Brooks take all of those claymations that we grew up on, put them together as a
Claymation.
single Christmas film live action. Let him run wild.
Oh, that'd be good.
Who's going to be Heat Miser? Who's going to be Freeze Miser? Who's going to play? Who's going to play the old wizard? All the. I mean, you let Mel Brooks just have a field.
The
Mel Brooks would
winter-
have to play the old wizard.
Winter Warlock. No, I want Mel Brooks
It would
to
really only work if Mel Brooks was Santa Claus.
Okay,
Santa
there you
Claus,
go.
or if Mel Brooks plays the Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Meisterburger. Yeah.
Coming no toys! I love Paul Frees. He's amazing. It's his birthday. Or no,
He's
that's
one of my favorite voices to imitate.
him and Conrad. It's his birthday. Conrad. Oh, God damn it. Damn it, I'm getting old. I can't remember.
Yeah, used to be I had to have a book next to me. Now I have every book in the
I
world
have to have
next to
the
me.
internet next to me.
Yes. Oh, yes.
He was in The Hobbit.
Princess Bride is definitely a D&D movie if we were going back to D&D movies.
Yep.
Oh, you're right.
It is a classic one. Willow is like the D&D movie.
We
That's
did
not
talk-
a D&D movie.
It's not a D. We did talk about it earlier. But,
The Dark Crystal could fall in line with the D&D film as well, falling in the fantasy and the different
Labyrinth.
races and whatnot.
The Last Unicorn, the Dragon one.
Dragon Slayer.
Damn it, I was wrong. Hans Conrad is one of the greatest voice actors that was ever lived. He's Captain Hook in the original Peter Pan Disney movie. I'll get you for this, Pan! It was the last thing I do! I love him. He's just so... his voice is so distinct, like Ed Wynn, or even we were talking about the Winter Warlock, Keenan Wynn, Ed Wynn's son. I mean, these are like great... It's the same as Disney gave you the Jungle Book in a very palatable form, in a musical format, which is something that had never been done before. I've never read Kipling's book, but I don't think there's a lot of musical numbers in it.
No, there are no musical numbers in it, and some of Kipling's writings can be a little problematic. They haven't aged well.
I heard it was dark,
overall,
too.
They are dark. Yeah, some of it is dark.
It's the same thing as the guy,
There's one
Lewis
called
Carroll?
Kim.
Oh, go ahead.
There's one called Kim. Look it up, read it. I don't want to tell you what the subject matter is, but read it. It's by Rudyard Kipling. Kim. It's a pretty dark book.
Well,
I believe it's about a spy, if I remember,
Allison,
during the Cold War, or during World War One.
Really?
Jack Kipling was an interesting, well-traveled, well-read gentleman. He was a brother. And he definitely had some interesting ideas that, as Rob says, don't age well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's like never meet your heroes. It's like,
No.
yeah, I like the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, but I know he was a raging racist and homophobe, which I am not, down with, but, love the art, hate the artist.
Yep.
That's okay. I believe in that because there's a lot of, it's like, oh, this is great. Well, you want to go hang out with him? Absolutely not. But this is great.
Oh, thank you.
I think love the art, hate the artist is okay. I think that's acceptable. I think that should become...
That is to a certain extent. There are certain artists of modern time that make a point of pushing their obnoxious and toxic views out onto the world. And, sometimes it gets to the point where you're still alive. And if I'm buying your art, I'm still supporting what you're saying, and I can't do that. Yeah. Bill Cosby, Sean Combs, R. Kelly, these are what Ravenlock is naming. These are artists I can't support because they're scum. J.K. Rowling, I don't know how you feel about the whole trans issue, but she's a raging transphobe, and I can't support Harry Potter.
Modern,
that's right.
Yep.
We're supposed to stay off of modern things.
We're only allowed to talk about politics up until the 80s or the 90s.
Yes.
Let's leave the 30-year gap in effect, and that's okay. No, I can't argue facts because the saddest thing in life is Bill Cosby, because
he was my hero. It crushed me.
Yep.
I had all his records growing up. I had some of his comedy routines memorized. I love Bill Cosby so much.
Me too. I still use Bill Cosby's famous line. Okay, Bill Cosby has a comedy bit about being in the Navy and a dude dying at sea. Have you ever heard it? It's on one of his old records. And he talks about there's a dude that dies at sea, and they go through the whole process of a burial at sea, but they keep the flag and they drop the body in the water. And Bill Cosby's take on it was, I thought he was supposed to go with the flag. You've been promising this guy he's going to get his flag, and then da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and now for my next magical trick, boom. And I use, now for my next magical trick, I think I used it 2 times tonight. I use that all the time, and I stole that from Bill Cosby in the mid-'80s, the first time I heard it, because my parents had albums, we got albums. I paid to see Leonard Part 6.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Ghost Dad on cable, though. I did not pay for that. but I was on a date for letter part 6, so that's
But
okay.
yeah, that's love the art.
And what
hate
happened
the
to letter
artist.
part 1 to 5?
Leonard, did you ever see One Letter Part 6, Chris?
No.
It's a terrible movie. It's up there with Highlander 2 and Showgirls. These are terrible movies.
Highlander 2. Oh my God.
Free
See,
Man of
that-
Zeist. What?
Highlander 2 and 3 and on should have been a case where suddenly at the end McLeod wakes up and goes,
Ah, fever dream. It's up there with Manos Hands of Fate. These movies don't go anywhere. They're like just...
Raven wants to start a fight about TV Highlanders, a true Highlander story. We're not going to go back down that road again. We already trashed it before you got here, Raven.
With the Highlander TV series, if you're doing prequels...
I've not watched enough of it to really...
I haven't seen any of it. I was at work every time it was on.
It was a fun series. It was a lot of fun. It built a lot of canon for itself, but the way I always looked at it was, to Rob's point, it didn't fit with the first film.
It had to break the canon of the first movie to even be, to make sense. It had to break the canon of the first movie.
It was the same as looking at what we all see today in Marvel, and they're alluding to it in DC with the multiverse and the potential that there are multiple lines and multiple things. It stood, to my way of thinking, it was one of those programs that could have stood very well upon its own. Had you not seen Highlander the film, and you saw Highlander the series, it was a lot of fun. It brought in a lot of characters.
I would have accepted it more if it was a reboot of the series and they didn't try to tie it to the film. They said, this is a retelling of the story. This is our guy now. And Raven is right. It is canon to the Highlander story. But all I have to say about that is there can be only one.
For me,
the movie didn't leave any room for sequels, and so anything that came after should have been a reboot.
Or a reboot. A prequel or a reboot. For me, it's the aspect of, I missed it. I mean, Highlander the series is in the same category for me as Parker Lewis Can't Lose, Briscoe County Jr., Earth 2, Earth Above and Beyond. These were all shows that were on while I was at work. I didn't see them. I really wanted to. There's a lot of awesome shows that came out in the early 90s, much like the early 2000s. There were a lot of shows that were really good that came out, but I just didn't see them because I was either raising kids or working. Same thing with you, Rob, where you were either in fucking Germany or raising children.
There's a lot I didn't get to see. But
for shows and stuff, I want to, my biggest lament, and my dad was really into the show, and that bothered me that I didn't see, two shows. My dad was really into 2 shows that I really wanted to sit down and watch all of it, but I only saw random episodes. George R.R. Martin's Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton, and X-Files. My dad was actually a huge X-Files fan, but all of Mulder and Scully happened. I was at work. I've seen maybe 5 episodes of the show I really wanted to watch from the beginning.
Yeah, I never really latched on to X-Files. I think at the time I was too busy doing...
Same thing with Buffy and Angel. I missed that.
That was during my raising of kids time, so I didn't get to watch any of Buffy or Angel. I've only seen the movie.
I saw the movie, which is, oh my God, we want to talk about amazing death scenes. Paul Rubens, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We don't need to vote anymore. Beth.
Didn't he die all the way through the credits?
Yes. Well, they showed the outtakes of him dying all the way through the... That's why it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, is fucking amazing, and it stands on its own, and you don't need to do any more. The show is good, and it showcases Joss Whedon's ability to be a director and a writer, And I didn't really appreciate the show because I never saw it until I got married. Christine was like, "Oh my God, Buffy." I'm like, "The movie?" She's like, "No, the show." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know it." So she went out and got all of them. And we sat down and watched all of them. And then all of the Angel. And I think there's another one, too.
Do you guys remember Millennium with Lance Henriksen?
I do,
Yeah.
but
I was
my kids
trying
were
to-
very young at the time, and I didn't want to watch it because I didn't want it to be on while my kids were on. Because
My-
wasn't he stalking a serial killer?
He was stalking serial killers, but he was working with a group, and the whole thing culminated with the Y2K. And so it was a big build up for 4 years. It says 96 to 99. I just remember watching it. It was great. It was one of those that really drew me in, and it was along the lines of the X-Files. I don't know if they had much of a tie-in between the two, but I think there might have been some crossovers at some point in time.
The old man liked that show too, and so did Christine. She was a big fan, and she tried to get me to watch it. And I had too many questions in the first episode, and that pissed her off. She turned it off, and then I never saw the rest of it. I'm like, that's not fair. If you're going to watch a show and then introduce it to me, you're going to have to answer questions. If you and I are watching a show brand new together, I'm not going to ask you any questions. I'm going to come up with theories. That's what being married to me is like. That's what being married to me is like. If you know about it and I don't, here is my list of 68 questions. If we have never, you have seen it, you have not seen it, and I have not seen it, I wonder if this is going to happen. Do you think this is going to happen? What if this guy does this?
I do that to Kat all the time. We're watching shows. He's like, this is what I think is going to happen next. I think that character's going to die. That character's a goner.
They're focusing way too much on this guy, and he's a nobody.
Or more like, if I was writing this show, this is what would happen next.
Yeah. I do love that about Chris.
What about Fringe or Warehouse 13?
Okay.
David in my chat mentioned Fringe as similar to X-Files and Millennium.
My sister Beth was into both of those shows, and she demanded I watch them, and I saw a little bit of 13, but I never had the ability to watch Fringe, so I missed it. And I apologize to her and the world for that. Because
I enjoyed Warehouse 13.
everybody raves about both of those shows, that Fringe is amazing, and that what I saw from Warehouse 13 is amazing, and of course Saul Rubin is in it, so you've already got me. I've been a fan of his since True Romance.
Yep.
And the other, he's in. Actually, no, I've been a fan of his since Star Trek: The Next Generation, because he's the weirdo collector guy that steals data and puts data in all these like moral situations.
The one time where everybody knows Data pulled the trigger.
Yeah, data.
Data pulled the trigger,
Okay, you got that
but
one.
they beamed him up first.
Just a logical-
There's a discharge of a weapon inside the stream. Well,
I don't know what you're
disable
talking
that.
about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea. I don't know what happened.
There's
Must have
another
been
show. 2000s, of course, Firefly was the great unknown before it came back as Serenity, and now everybody is more accepting of it. But the show...
You know,
Go ahead.
Firefly, seen all the episodes. I liked it, but I think the nostalgia for it is greater than the actuality of it.
Oh, I don't
At the time,
know. I
at the
mean,
time, it
you
was,
know, I don't know.
it was a different take on a cowboy movie.
Boom.
As Raven said, cowboys in space.
Cowboys in Space.
I think people,
Adult Toy Story.
yes,
There we go. Mhm.
people think of it more fondly. I said I watched it much later after it came out, and I thought it was okay. I just think people remember it more fondly than it actually is.
I'm sorry, please repeat that. I stepped on the cord and it
But
disconnected.
then I saw the movie Serenity, and I thought the movie Serenity was amazing at wrapping up the story. I thought it was better than any Firefly episode.
And then there's the comic books in between.
And I saw the Serenity movie before I ever saw a Firefly episode.
Oh, well, you went backwards in time.
Yes. Firefly was another one of those that came out at a time when I was parenting, and and then I was going to radio school at night, and so there was no TV in the evenings for me.
Right after Firefly, in the same, they had the Spotted Death, 7:00 on Friday night, 2002. But after Firefly was a show called John Doe.
I vaguely remember John Doe. I didn't get to watch it.
Rob is shaking his head yes. I think we've talked about this before. Chris, John Doe? Doesn't ring a bell?
Nope.
So they find this guy naked in the Puget Sound, way up in the North Arctic Circle in Alaska, below Canada. And he starts talking to, what are they, Chinese or Filipino or Japanese? And they're like, who are you? And he's like, I don't know, I don't remember. And why are you naked? I don't know why I'm here. How do you know our language? What do you mean you're talking English? We're not talking English, we're talking Tagalog.
I think it was Chinese.
Yeah, Mandarin.
And that was the thing that really threw people off. Oh my God.
So, he sees everything black and white when he wakes up. And when he wakes up, this is fun, everything that has ever been printed from the dawn of time is inside of his skull.
Nice.
But he has no memory of who he is, who his family is, why he ended up there, what's going on. None of that. It's all a mystery. And he's got to piece it all together. William Forsythe is in it. Dominic Parnell? The guy who was Dracula in the fourth Blade movie. And or the third Blade, was it third or fourth Blade?
Yeah.
He was in
Raven
Breakout.
says he has that magic upload like Johnny Mnemonic where he steals information and talks to dolphins.
Oh, good. He's seen it. He knows what the hell I'm talking about. Thank God. Another human.
Yes,
No.
Raven says his whole childhood was Fox Channel shows.
Gotcha. Okay, he understands. So
For me, it was MASH.
MASH was amazing. MASH was a great show. There's so many good shows in the 80s. And there was a lot of bad shows in the 80s. But John Doe was great because it kept evolving, and then he would work with the detectives, and it was a good show. I wish they had made more of the second season of it, or at least given it a conclusion. That would have been nice.
So many good TV shows that got canceled after one season or less. They rebooted Night Stalker in the early 2000s.
Really?
And it starred frickin' Stuart Townsend and Gabrielle Union. And it was canceled after one season.
Okay, I've got a couple. I'm wondering if you guys remember. First one, Forever Night.
Yep.
I remember Forever Night.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been at work.
The Vampire Police Detective.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't see it,
All
but
right.
I heard
And
about
then
it.
the other one, Brimstone.
Yeah.
No?
No, I don't remember Brimstone.
No,
But Raven said Kindred the Embraced was canceled after one season as well. I think that was canceled because the lead actor died, didn't he?
I think he did. Chris, you own that now. It's in one of the tubs I gave you with all the White Wolf stuff. Kindred the Embraced. It was.
I own it. Yep.
It was.
Yep, I own that.
White Wolf world. I mean, it was. I mean, I don't know if Ravenloft agrees,
Sounds like
but they did all the different.
we had we have the stuff on VHS, and I watched it with Kat. It was very well done.
There was no way they could do a Werewolf Apocalypse show, but that would be fucking awesome. But it would kind of be like kids mixed with Underworld, Rise of the Lycan. We really liked all this bizarre sex and then ripping up vampires. Okay, sign me up. I'm now for that. I changed my mind. I don't know which tribe I want to be. I don't want to be
now
the
you
Gad
put
of
the
Fenris.
vampire bug in my ear. At one point, I was threatening to run a vampire game.
The problem is it's all bureaucracy and storytelling. There's no actual, like, action in the game. Please don't.
Well, oh yes, the one that we were playing in a game that a friend of mine was streaming, and Kat and I were playing in it, and we were the most bumbling, inept, failing vampires ever. Oh God, the vampire has this rule where if you fail, but you fail real close, you can like spend a blood point and succeed with consequences.
Yep.
And the more blood points you spend, the worse off it's going to be for you down the road. Well, I got so good at failing my rolls that I was just like, all right, I'm just going to take the fail. I ended up killing civilians by trying to drive a vehicle that was a high-performance vehicle, and I had no driving skill. So that vehicle didn't survive, neither did any of my passengers.
Oh, no. The whole concept
we failed so badly so many times. When we tried to take on the leader of another clan, and we had this great plan, and we failed every roll we needed to make, and ended up getting caught by the
I still have... Go ahead.
It was bad. It was a comedy of errors, and it took place in Paris, Texas.
Really? Oh, Paris, Texas. I'm gonna go to Paris,
What hesitated
Texas.
there? Texas.
Well, hey, Texas
All right.
is awesome.
This one just popped back into my head. Similar time frames. Friday the 13th, the series.
Own it. I own the whole series. I own the whole
I've
series,
seen a
which
couple of
hasn't
episodes.
given Jason at all.
It was happening while I was at work, and unfortunately I missed all of it, and I regret that, but it's on that list of Briscoe County Jr. and all the rest that we've did. I love Briscoe County Jr. It was a great show. I've seen like half of one episode, and I was like, this is amazing! I have to go to work.
There was at the time Briscoe County Jr. came out, was the same time that Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, and Xena Warrior Princess. There were a number of other shows that followed that
Sam
trend.
Raimi's.
There was a short-lived Conan series, and there was also one called Spy Game, and it starred Lyndon Ashby, and he was basically a retired Cold War era CIA spy, and him and his ex-rival, the retired KGB agent, owned a bar together and did freelance spy work.
Sounds like...
And Lyndon Ashby played Johnny Cage in the first Mortal Kombat movie, if you don't know who he was.
No, I didn't know who he was, but that was a great movie.
But that was a great movie. But and Spy,
Miss
it was called
Veronica
Spy
Vaughn.
Game, and it lasted one season. And it was done tongue in cheek in the same way that Hercules and Xena were, but it was set in modern times. And it was basically these two guys that had spent a whole lifetime hating each other and what each other stood for in business together. And they still hate each other, but they're in business together.
I'm glad you brought up Spy Game, because did you guys know that Get Smart? Get Smart?
Get Smart. Buck Henry.
Buck
Mel
Henry
Brooks
and
was a
Mel
writer on
Brooks-
that
Mel
show.
Brooks and Buck Henry wrote that show.
They were the creators of it. Yep.
Missed it by that much. That's totally...
Would you believe?
That's kind of cool. Did not know that.
Right on.
Well, gentlemen, it's getting to be pumpkin time for this old
Holy
man.
crap.
It is.
Do
All
any,
right.
any of you have any shout-outs? Chris has got some appearances coming up.
I do. I am going to be at Superhero Saturday, January 7th. I believe it's from 10 to 3 up at the Metro Center. Over by where Peter Piper Pizza is, up at the Center Parkway.
It's a grid. You got to do better than that. What is the... Okay, Metro Center, Dunlap. Dunlap, 27th
Peoria.
Avenue.
Yeah.
It's going to be at
Peoria
the Peter Piper
and,
Pizza. Peoria and the I-7.
Peoria and the I-17.
You're in the I-17. Yeah. And then my last show for Core 6 Media is January 31st, Tempe Fan Con.
Awesome.
At the Tempe Library.
Go out there, see Chris, support him, support Core 6. Robs, do you guys have stuff?
I have nothing particular going on other than it's gaming weekend this weekend.
Yes.
That
Can't
it
wait
is.
till Saturday.
Everybody's looking forward to it.
Oh my God, D&D.
The only other thing I'm going to speak to is the same thing I always do, St. Mary's Food Bank. So to everybody out there who's listening and watching, paying attention, if you have the opportunity, step up, give a little bit of time to your local food bank, help out, help those in our community that could use our little hand.
Puppets.
Saw
the
that.
puppets. Well, I posted the Great Puppet Theater down at 3rd Street and McDowell. We need to support them. I took my kids there when they were little. It's a museum and a theater together. They're really into it. And they do puppet slam and they do adult puppet stuff. But I thought you wanted to do the cabaret. Your Russian buddies that do the puppet marionettes, and do you want to plug them or?
Yeah, Bauhaus is down off of 20th Street, south of Indian School. And they are always creating new events, new programs, new traditional Russian or Eastern European marionette shows. They write the stories, they perform these stories, they do all of the music. It's an incredible opportunity. The best part of it is folks who run the program, they like to talk about it before the performance and after the performance. They invite comments. They want you to talk about it. They want to have the opportunity to bring these stories to life and to teach the morals and the values that they're trying to get across. So look them up on the Weird Wide Web, Bauhaus, Bauhaus. It's a wonderful program. The original Bauhaus program started in Germany. The woman that runs it here is a Russian Jew who escaped before the fall of the Iron Curtain. And she brought this whole idea here and has developed it for decades. She's an incredible artist on her own, and she has helped to bring all of these things together. So if you have an opportunity, go out there. They ask for a $20 donation to come on down, see the program, and they always put on the feed bag. So it's worth the event.
As always, for us, Body and Soul Candles is our main sponsor for the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. Thank you for joining us for episode 53. From all of us to all of you, make the new year the best. This is the first episode of the new year, guys.
Holy crap, it is.
You're still muted, Rob. He's talking to his other group.
I had the mic mute. I was going to say, for those hanging out in my chat, I am going to raid my friend Caesar. He is hosting a D&D game with some friends of mine. And until then, everybody stay geeky and come see us next week. And if you have any interest in joining us, we would be glad to let you come and run your mouth with us.
Absolutely. Also, Clay will probably be joining us Saturday. I know we were going around that, but we got, he's at work right now. Dude, we're roommates. I don't keep tabs on him. But other than that, he's been doing miniatures. He's got his own page. I'm trying to support him. As men, when you get divorced, there's a road of divorce, and you meet other men who are divorced, and they're along that road. And a lot of the times, men are at different points along that road, and we can always help other men be like, dude, you don't need to do that anymore. She's not a part of your life. She's, come on, we'll go do hobbies. We'll watch this movie. We'll smoke a couple bowls and play this video game. This will be fine. And not that, I want to make this like a MGTOW or red pill, because none of that crap existed when all of us were in our 20s, but it exists now as acronym in the social Zeitgeist, or whatever the hell it's called.
Zeitgeist.
Thank you. I'm tired too, and I really need to go to the bathroom.
All right,
It's been
yeah,
over
we
3
need
hours.
to get out of here. Anyways, you gentlemen have a good night, and we will see you on Saturday.
Absolutely. Saturday, everybody.
Night.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good one. I gotta
You
go.
too.